I do that when you just go yourself over the sea. You don't have to go into a pot and then
fall overboard.
No, that's why you got your buddy's hands.
Right.
They weren't holding each other's hands.
No, it's not like holding it.
You guys never sailed the 7 seas.
No, I have.
And you talk about the fish tongue, and if you've ever had a pedicure...
It never came into play.
No,
Fish don't have tongues, do they?
No, it was brought up when I talked about lowering the guy to have a, it splash and clean them up. But they do have fish that, like, clean up your feet, like in pedicures, and I'm sure there are fish that, clean other areas. So maybe they had those.
Have you ever had sex in the ocean?
I don't know if I've been in the ocean.
Let's save this for.
I've been on the,
let's save this for Plopper and Genie, because I.
Plopper and Genie.
Pepper and Genie.
Oh, because
I want to.
For you, many times.
I want to tell a story, but I can't tell it on this air. But I can tell it on Pepper and Genie because we can get a little banty over there.
Doug, that's a tease. Just got better at teasing.
We don't have to worry about cussing and things on that.
Remember the yacht excursion you went on with Natalie Wood and Raquel Welch?
That's right.
No. Now, back in the old days, I don't know what they did in the old-time pirate ships and things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how evolved they were from, say, the Roman era. But if you were...
because it would have been like 1,000 years later, right?
All right, but I don't know how much advanced they were as far as wiping. They didn't have toilet paper.
It's all about wiping?
Well, we asked the question, how are they wiping? Back then, if you were rich, you had somebody wipe it for you with a brush. They would have a brush and a bucket, and then they would kind of go sideways, and the guy would wipe it for you, then go back in that
How do you
bucket.
know this?
I saw it on Spartacus.
There you go.
God, I think that there'd be just a lot of spraying with
It would.
the brush technique.
But Badiaris, who owned the Gladiator School, he would go, and they had these, like, a whole row of them, like little holes in the wood, and they would all sit down. And this guy was just talking, drop trowel, and talking to his friend. And the guy handed him the brush. It was in a bucket. Got water on it, just gave it back to him.
Don't make that sound effect.
That brush went right back into the bucket with his poop on it.
Oh.
That'd be a randy little sea man.
I don't think it is.
You said this was in a movie you saw.
It was a TV show. I don't think they made that up.
No, they never made
How's he going to wipe? Let's just do this. No, they kind of just researched.
I don't know. Couldn't they have excluded that from the movie and been just fine?
Well, it was as real as could be back in the Spartacus days.
Yeah, but that goes on today, too. People still use the restroom. It doesn't make its way into the movies.
Well, it's a long time ago. Just like when you have the poop deck, then you have swab the deck. That's what they're using, that brush to swab the poop.
Oh, I don't know.
Doug.
I don't know. It's an odd topic that we've gotten off on.
I didn't start it.
We just started talking about explorers.
Right. We were talking Portugal.
Right. It started
come full circle.
It was a very highbrow discussion.
That would have been a tough job on a ship that long. I was actually offered a job on a ship in Tahiti.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
To do what?
Be a waiter.
I had friends who did that.
Yeah, that's like
brutal.
3 weeks on straight, and then you get a week off.
Yeah, they said it was brutal.
Yeah, I said I can't. Even doing a private ship, and the guy owned like 6 private ships, and he would have like 8 couples per ship, and I think you had 2 couples you had to take care of for dinner, but you worked 7 days a week for 3 straight weeks. Then you got a week off, but that's just a lot of work before you get time off.
Yeah.
Even in Tahiti. So
and then as soon as you're off and you rest up for a day or two, it's almost time to go back to work for 3 weeks.
So I said no. It'd been nice, but yeah, that 3 weeks on, 1 week off was no go for me.
I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. Have you been thinking about buying a home, but you're sitting on the sidelines because you think the process is just going to be too complicated and maybe you'll get stuck in a bidding war? Not when you're working with me. We can start with a phone call and I can get you pre-approved the day you call in. I'll get you a lower rate, and with our 10-day closing guarantee, you'll be in the home of your dreams by the end of the month. So if you've been sitting on the fence, it's time to move. Get pre-approved for your next home loan today at thehomeloanexpert.com. NMLS number 1326241.
105.7 HD2. The Ryan Kelly Morning After.
The Post Sports Bar and Grill presents Iggy's Drops of the Week.
I see some persip.
Why don't you try to get a forecast right first before you pop off?
Oh, Peter. Oh, Peter.
I do have a lot of matted tufts.
I listened to a lot of NPR as a child.
I've never buried one of my girls.
I have to take a massive poop.
And I just walked in and said, can I get in on this? I was thinking of Mayo April.
Yep.
Well, there wasn't a producer in this city that could touch me.
How were your nipple clamps?
I wear a size 9, and I'm hanging fat dong, dude. Like,
I did make out with my first cousin. Happy birthday
Jack.
to you. And then I had to go, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, you little small ween cuck. Get in the corner, suck your thumb, loser.
His pubis is kindling.
I was the tiniest of twinks back then. Are you into people watching you? I'd love to watch you guys have sex. We all breathe. I'm getting tired of this BS. I was the best at what I did for a very long time.
I couldn't get an erection until 2016. It was the strangest coincidence.
You can do whatever you want with me. I always try to match my hat with something I have on.
It's a cock.
bidets are like the gateway to enemas.
Good point. Good point.
Don't be jumping into my territory, glue guzzler. My friend John Ashton was in that.
The stallion is out of the barn.
I almost didn't go to the induction to go to Los Loin Boys. I'm riding the coattails of Tim. I don't want this a-hole to win.
Yeah, when you can see the crust. Now, we can do one thing. When you can actually visibly see the crust.
You can keep a fire going for a week based on the tufts of your nether region.
The power got to my head a little bit.
You
Fitting
look
for
so
you.
much like a Bruce.
By 16, you've got full shrubbery.
Was that a good idea? I'm not sure.
I pimp around.
The Rams defeat the Buccaneers to take on
49ers.
the 49ers.
I think you're doing a shoot.
That was another SportsCenter update driven by Johnny Londo.
That was Iggy's Drops of the Week, presented by The Post.
Stay posted, my friends.
Hey, if you like the morning after, check out Balloon Party on 101 ESPN. HD1, by the way. It's sports talk with Tim McKernan and Action Jackson from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. each weekday, right after the morning after. It's the worst named show in the history of radio, but the content's pretty good, so check it out on 101 ESPN or get the podcast on the TMA app.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan of TMA, and I am thrilled to have new clients on board Longo Biggs Injury Law. CD Longo and Doug Biggs. And Doug, the thing I want our audience to know is that you guys are local and you guys are different. Tell our audience how you're different.
Yeah, Tim, both CD and I are from St. Louis area, born and raised in the South City area or the South County area, and we are also thrilled to be part of the TMA family now. If anyone signs up with us for an injury case, their case is treated like they are family. We get to know you, we get to know the ins and outs of your case, and make sure we represent you like you are part of our family. We're not like one of the large firms in the area who might take your case and just treat you like another number or another file. You'll get our personal attention. It's either CD and I who will handle your case directly, and if you are injured in an accident, please remember us. You can visit us at longobiggs.com, and that's Biggs with 2 G's.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPNT-FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day. Rise and shine, St. Louis. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on KPNT-FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. At the Morning After STL on YouTube and on TMASTL.com with Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Iggy Strode, The Plowboy, and Action Jackson.
7:07 St. Louis, you are listening to the Ryan Kelly Morning After from the Michelob Ultra Studios. Hello, friends, and welcome to the Munganess St. Louis Acura Alton Toyota 7 o'clock hour. Timothy Michael McKernan, Douglas Elvin Vaughn, Kenneth Iggy Strode, the Plowhawk, and Action Jackson with you. And today, Doug, to celebrate the Blues win over the Canucks, we're going to tell our boys' sluttiest stories.
Oh, about
Why are they
what?
winning?
Jacob Vrana, that's how they're winning.
No, I don't care if they're winning.
Oh.
They should be losing. It just makes no sense. Hey, look at the 14th pick.
Well,
Wow.
it's hard to go out there and try to lose.
It is not, trust me. You see the Rams?
Oh, well, they did it, didn't they?
I mean, they did it perfectly.
Mm-hmm. They sure pulled it off.
Take that blueprint.
It's been hard for me to stay interested, too. Well, once they give up on themselves, it's hard to... Well, what are we watching for? Hoping that they lose to get a better draft pick?
Brana's a great player, though. Prop to Doug Armstrong, who's getting grilled, this season for, obvious reasons. But that's a great trade.
If they can make some good picks with some of the draft picks they acquired in these trades, and maybe the rebuild, it doesn't take so long. But they'd
There you go.
They'd have to do that.
Nice.
Yep.
You needed to get into top 3 here to do it.
Hold on a second. We got a problem.
What?
The show is not broadcasting, Doug. The show is not broadcasting.
God. Okay.
Come on, Flowsy!
Dude,
Oh.
with Tim on remote, I tend not to turn it to studio bypass until right when the show starts.
So where have these hot takes been going?
Well, the first minute and a half is just now in the
I
stratosphere.
mean, I think,
they're
Doug,
so
we are
great. And
currently
they
in the
should
midst
be.
of setting a record in the engineer design facilities text inbox.
This is
Just absolute rage right now in the
Yes.
direction of this radio presentation. I mean, absolutely the anger. Jackson, how many texts have come in?
I'm slicing up names right now, so I don't know. I'm just looking at the text
good.
bar.
And it's 100% on me. It's not on Jackson. Don't direct it towards anybody but me, which I'm sure they're not. I'm sure they're smart enough to know who Coleman was.
It's still on the podcast and on YouTube, so.
I blame Gino.
No, it was my bad.
Yeah.
God bless
The
Gino.
studio bypass button is the best thing that has ever been invented because you can record things after the show and still have the all-day broadcast playing.
Okay.
However, if you don't turn that on, you're now just...
We have no show. We're just talking amongst ourselves.
When
Well,
in doubt,
yeah.
just blame Lipson.
I should have.
Yep, Lipson. What about Lipson, Doug? Do you blame this more on Gino or Lipson?
Well, the two of them together have combined
That
to
was like
sabotage the show.
That was like 2 podcast offers ago, and that's goodness.
And look, I've only been here a year and a half, so everything's still a little new.
buttons are
Right, we're
different
still
than they
getting
were
used to
yesterday.
things.
No, that was my bad. But we're on, and yeah, let's get the take going again. Why are the Blues winning? They should
Jacob!
be- That's where we were. Anybody who's
Yes.
listening to HD2, that's where we were.
A couple goals last night. And we were just saying that nobody heard that if they can make good on some of these draft picks they acquired in the trades, that maybe the rebuild doesn't take so long.
Look, we just did the summary of what they missed.
They were
so,
hot takes too, and it just doesn't work as well when you have to spit them out a second time.
back to live programming.
Yeah, kind of like your interview with Earl Weaver. The third time really didn't work, did it?
Even the third time didn't work. I blame that on Alex Bullock. He was a lensman. I'm not over it yet. It's been almost 40 years.
I bet he went to a grave with it. He has passed away since.
I don't know.
right?
I
Okay.
doubt it. He was about my age.
Okay.
Earl Weaver?
No, Alex Bullock.
No, I meant Earl Weaver. Can I look at that?
He's no longer with
Okay.
us.
Can I say you were the same age?
Alex, I haven't checked up on Alex Bullock. I can't look him in the eye anymore.
The show was better when we were off air.
It seemed to flow better. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't offend.
Doug, I'm gonna give you a sampling of some of the text that came in.
Okay.
Because there's just too many to read. The Calmay protege starts things off. This show keeps getting worse.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't hear anything, so I started vigorously masturbating to ease my anger.
Oh.
It's not a big deal. It was just a little awkward for the rest of the guys at work. Got some Scott's wrinkled ballsack. Have you guys ever considered taking the salary of the 3 producers to hire a single competent button jockey? That's from Tervis Parrott.
That's what we need is a button jockey.
Once every 6 months, if may happen, that's not a big issue.
Imagine a world when your only job is to hit a button. And you fail so terribly at that job that your crappiness causes us to miss the sweet voice of Tim waking me up in the morning.
Oh.
Well done, loser. Doug, that's Nathan from the east side of Alton.
I mean, one button is my only job is one of the best takes ever.
Plus, you were eating.
I have a breakfast
You were
Sammy. It's
distracted.
new. I haven't done microwavable breakfast sandwiches
Oh.
before. You got to defrost it, wrap it up in a paper towel. I was
Yeah.
nervously pacing back and forth by the microwave.
Sure you were.
I think I may have overcooked it. So
you had concerns.
Studio bypass
Yeah.
was secondary.
Right.
So
The
again,
show comes after nutrition.
So I'll take apologies from these listeners.
They owe us.
Have
an
you guys ever
apology.
tried all showing up to work high? Maybe more weed would help with the technical glitches on the show. That's from Arbor Day.
It was
Arbor
not-
Day is live for the Milagro Tequila Listener of the Month, by the way.
It had nothing to do with marijuana. This is just an absolute one-off that has happened a few times.
So we have all these people who sit by the radio at 7:07, and if the show's not on, immediately they are prepared to text in their hatred.
They should.
That is correct. That is correct. It is a very unique dynamic on this program. As the sales staff here at Hubbard Radio says, we've never seen anything like this.
And they should want to hear the very beginning of the show. Again, I'm not trying to defend anything.
No, you're not.
This is just, I'm more than a one-button guy.
Well, sure you are.
I'm having a new breakfast. I'm changing up the game a little bit.
You're
and it just
hungry.
takes time for me to settle in. So, hey, we're on.
Yeah.
So this is the show, huh?
Yeah.
Nice job, dildos. That's for my shape, my balls for this, Sarah.
Wasn't anybody
Stop giving us the business.
Man, I really wanted to start better today.
Well, the bright side to the dead air is we don't have to listen to Pop Pop's whistle snoot. That's from the Key West butt tickler.
Oh.
He must be new.
Whistle snoot.
Here come the excuses. That's from Todd Reesing. Doug, he was sacked in Arrowhead in 2007.
No, more focused on my breakfast sandwich. That's not an excuse, and if that was, it's a terrible one to have. If I go to management, I go, yeah, we're off air because of eating.
But it looks like a pretty good breakfast sandwich.
It was. Again, I'll send I got my email fixed finally. I'll send a nice apology to John, Stan, Tommy, and make sure to let them know that it won't happen again.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Who's Stan?
Yeah.
I was going to ask the same question.
Isn't it Stan Hubbard? Isn't he the boss?
Oh, Stanley Hubbard.
Isn't he the big boy?
Someone to our caddy.
I don't know if he podcasts or not, but...
He's probably retired by now, isn't
Our caddy was thrilled with Iggy's club selection.
Yeah, I wanted him to hit a 7 on 18, Doug. Iggy hit an 8, and club twirled it as it bitched off into the right side bunker, and Stan now texts into the show and is not happy with it. But then again, who texts into the show happy with the show? Ask yourself that question.
We've not found anyone yet.
And don't forget, Stan was the one that told me, you have to go right. And I said, screw it. Went left and went in the crap. And
trees are 90%
his
air.
reaction was so perfect. At that point, he was crestfallen and defeated.
He was out. He was absolutely out. I think that was on number 12 after the drivable par 4, Doug, 11. And the Plowhawk did not follow Stan's advice. He put his head down, shook his head, and I believe started to do the math to figure out that he only had 6 more holes of this crap left.
Well, when you're an average to mediocre player, even just because someone tells you don't go left doesn't mean you're not going to go left, even if you don't want to go left. You try to hit it right, it might still go left.
You think I'm turning Nick scorecard into the USGA? Nah, man. I'm pistol whipping that thing, trying to get a lucky shot in.
Yeah,
Stan afterwards said that our group was leaking oil after that hole.
And he was correct on that one.
The TikTok of the first minute of today's show is going to be hella easy. Doug, that's from our coworker KG in O-Town.
Okay.
Again, my bad.
He's putting in a lot of hours here. He's really taking this new job and running with
This may sound bad, but we're going to say it anyway because, we're on HD2.
You can say it.
It's kind of funny, though, right? Like, that kind of advances the show a little bit, gets a topic going, gets everybody angry, which I kind of think they love being pissed off at one of the people on the dais. They're like, I'll be the fall guy today.
Right. Poke the bee's nest.
To enhance the show's value,
Well, you did a heck of a thing, and it was only one button to get us back on the air.
It's just one button, bud.
Yeah.
It's that easy.
You can text in your fury, 314-881-TMA5. That's the Engineer Design Facilities text inbox. You can call in. And again, as I started at the outset of the show, but this was, I guess, reserved for the people who are on YouTube, because you didn't hear it if you were live streaming. You didn't hear it if you were listening on HD2. Am I correct on that, Jackson? Is that the only place where people could hear it?
They can only hear it on YouTube right now, but they'll, of course, hear it on the podcast later this week.
Right. But, the Walrus King said, we heard everything on YouTube. Jake Reynolds says, YouTube's working fine, and I heard it from the start, so no worries here.
No.
And then Jason Jardin, Jason, said, YouTube is good, app isn't live. And then Ryan Seacrestfallen says, Kenny, don't be crestfallen. So those are the YouTube comments right now in the YouTube chat where 144 friends have gathered to watch us on what are we calling a Boy Slutty Wednesday, where listeners are going to call in their stories of being tiny little boy sluts. 636-900-4 TMA. And, of course, email in for the Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email the day, the morning after at InsideSTL.com. Your captain's log for today's program. Jeremy Rutherford will be with us, and we'll act like we're going to talk about the Blues, but we'll probably talk about anything but. That is brought to you by Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies and comes your way at 9 o'clock. We have the Munganast Daily Fantasy Sports Showdown returning after taking the week off last week with Iggy vacationing in the Hamptons. And, of course, our Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email of the day. The Milagro Tequila Lister of the Month is live. We will have a papal conclave on Friday to determine who wins it. It's up for snatch grabs right now. Doug, internally, I know you've talked to some consultants. Who do you feel at the moment is the front runner for the Milagro Tequila Listener of the Month, which you can apply for at tmastl.com?
I would say Buck Swope. I think he's been real consistent with his
Henshin,
emails.
man, it's Henchy. That video of the guy on the mower may have done it. A lot of emails.
What did Henshin have to do with the video of
the gif of the guy riding in the lawnmower with that? What was it? That
we determined it was a sickle.
Sickle, thank you.
Or a scythe, one or the other.
That was great.
You should have put one of those white masks on them. You know, the ones that stretch, have the mouth wide open in the horror movies, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, the Scream ones.
Yeah, then have the sickle guy back there with that mask on.
Well, he's going 50 miles an hour. That is scary.
What's the
He
name?
was flying.
What's the name that goes with that mask? There's a name.
Ghostface.
There's another name, isn't there?
Grim Reaper, bro?
It might be the Grim Reaper for sure.
No, it's
Ghostface. That's the name of the character in Scream.
Yeah, but I thought there was another name that went with it.
I don't know.
Never mind. Yeah, interesting thought though.
It is an interesting thought. You're correct. You can share your interesting thoughts at Engineer Design Facilities text inbox. If you have visibility to your company or place of businesses, commercial fire alarm panel and system, email fire at edf-rg.com. Have a technician come out and provide a free evaluation of your system and offer the most competitive contract pricing in the market. You can also check them out anytime at edf-rg.com, the official commercial fire alarm services and solutions provider of TMA. EDF's fire division is now testing, inspecting, and maintaining the fire system on all commercial kitchen and restaurant hoods. EDF can handle all your company's security and surveillance needs, from surveillance cameras to access card readers to facial recognition software and everything in between. Text in 314-881-TMA. 5. Brian Henshin says, I don't know what these idiots are bitching about. I was listening on the app and thought the opening few minutes of today's show were the best you guys have done in years. That's from show ombudsman Brian Henshin.
My vote.
Well, it was only about 45 seconds or so.
Yeah, and it's sad that it was one button, because, you know, if it was more technical, maybe I could get away with more elaborate excuse than a breakfast Sammy, but...
Well, the sandwich is gone now, and you're really kind of settling in, and there shouldn't be many more problems.
Focused.
Okay. All right, then. We're good. We're good now. Glad to say that.
So this is the show, huh?
This is it.
Darren Pang will join us on Balloon Party today, and Derek Gould will join us on Balloon Party today as well. Jackson, what's the lineup there? It's a two-guest Wednesday after a big two-guest Tuesday. Max Bretos, who called the Doggies game, was with us yesterday along with Chris Kerber. What do we have today?
I believe Panger is going to be on a flight during our show today, so it'll just be Derek Gould. But, you know, love having Derek on. Cardinal opening day tomorrow, so.
Yeah, how do you do? Doug, you going to the opener?
I'm going to the Hubbard party at Ballpark Village. I do not have tickets or a credential to go to the game, but
me and Doug may go together.
Yeah,
I'll be there.
Nice. Parking.
I'll be hot.
I can't imagine what they're going to charge us to park. $50 probably.
Yeah,
no, I did. I went last year. Parking is $20, so that's like normal.
Well,
we parked in the parking garage last year, as I recall. God, it was colder.
Yeah, it was.
The Hawk was up, if memory serves.
Oh, that's the worst, walking in those seats.
You'll have to hoof it a little, because parking's going to be...
Yeah, it's $40 right next to the stadium, or at least it was last year, so I would expect it to go up.
I'm fine walking, and we could flag down one of them golf cart guys and just take us right up to the gate.
Oh,
it's going to be nice on Thursday tomorrow, though, so
yeah,
I'll be fine to walk.
All right.
You morons realize you still run a promo for the dormant Dopey in the Old podcast. Shouldn't people's expectations of y'all already be in the sewer? That's from Carlos Spicy Wiener.
Isn't that up for Radio Show of the Year on the
Yeah.
magazine list?
And also, it's a fun promo.
It is fun.
It builds up another 36-second through our commercials.
Right.
And
which I'm
Pepper and
sure-
Genie is still available to listen to. It's just not necessarily new episodes. It's on hiatus.
This is
Oh,
a
God.
Jason Barrett style. We break up episodes. We did the first 80 episodes.
Right. Leave the audience wanting more.
Left them wanting a lot more.
Yeah.
A lot of something.
Mm-hmm. I expect they go back and pick up old podcasts all the time of that show.
Oh, they're evergreen.
Yeah.
You know, when cavemen poop, who had the first kid? You know, we bashed Lana Rhodes.
Yeah.
We had a bunch of good topics.
The thing everyone's talking about. You know.
In the city.
Right.
Hey, Indianapolis Star professional toilet cleaning technician and occasional obituary columnist, do not ever infer that Mr. Licks and I drive lawnmowers in Tim's backyard. Just keep scrubbing that fecal matter in hopes of one day writing for the Metro section of the Webster Kirkwood Times. You have been warned. That's from the Warson Woods Wacko, and I feel like he might be talking to Brian Hench.
I feel that's exactly who he's talking to. One very
The
nice.
listeners hate the show. The listeners hate each other.
Right.
Doug, this is a show of passionate hatred.
Full of hate. Yep. I don't know what's going to turn things around. It's been like this for many years, so it is what it is, I guess.
I love that you guys still run promos for Pepper and Genie. It reminds me of a couple of years ago when a major storm blew through North County and tore apart a shopping center sign visible from I-270. The resulting damage revealing a tattered old Venture store sign that had been covered up for decades. The sign then remained visible for at least a year. Pepper and Genie is the podcast equivalent of that tattered and now dated Ventured sign, and I love it. That's from Minute Bowl eligible.
Well,
it was a hell of a show. I think it had legs, and then we did How to Get Cool in the Summer, and I think that might have been when the sponsor said, "Hey, I'm going to back out."
Jump the shark.
But what episode got you nominated for Best Show of the Year in St. Louis Magazine, do you think? Which one was it? Was it the Matty Dreads interview?
Maitland Ward.
What was it?
Maitland Ward, probably.
Maitland Ward.
And we had build-up leading up to that. I think we had a pube talk. Sexiest male actors you want to get with, or hottest foursome with guys, or something like that. So we had a lot of build-up, and then you get to the Maitland, it's kind of like that big explosion.
That interview put you on the map.
Yeah.
I think it was the episode where the show note description was, I already forgot what we talked about.
Yeah, I think the show notes, those were real. I took shots at listeners, so I think those kind of maybe sprinkled in a little pizzazz, that other podcasts really don't have. We're lacking the sponsors, but not lacking the creativity.
I blame me. I just got tired of doing it.
Oh, I wasn't a fan of it either.
Hello, St. Louis. You are listening to a very special edition of a one-week trial run of a show that may or may not continue after this week, depending on the quality of the show, depending on the sleep habits of the host, and depending on the interest level of advertising for sponsoring it.
It's true. That is a blanket statement for any show that you ever do.
Yeah.
Your sleep habits, the sponsors, and the want to.
Right.
Doug, would you like a little story? I don't even know if the dais knows this part of the story.
Sure, I enjoy
But this
stories.
is I usually write these for my podcast, but I'll share a little story here about that program. So I knew that I wanted to start doing more of my own kind of thing, and I thought, you know what, I'm up already. I live super close to the station, and so why not just do a show from 6 to 7 and see how it goes and do essentially a revenue share. I wasn't interested in an additional base compensation. I'd rather have a revenue share. Doug, as you always have said, upside is on my side.
Yeah.
That's what you always say.
Yeah.
Upside is on my side.
Said that for many years.
Yes, indeed. So I proposed that to ownership and management of 590 The Fan KFNS. I don't remember what year it was. I'm going to say 18 or 19. And so it was just a proposal because I think we were what did we run from 6 to 7 on KFNS back in 2018, 2019? Plowhawk. I don't think you were furloughed at the time.
Yeah, I think it was Clay Travis. At least,
great stuff.
Well, Fox Sports, so I think he was still doing sports at the time. Now he is definitely on beyond that, but I think that at the time he still had Outkick was and Fox was.
Got it. So since it was syndicated, the station wasn't making any money on it. It didn't matter. And so I said, I'll do this. And if it can bring in X, then the station can get whatever, let's just say half of X. And then the people working on the show could get half of Y. And then we could chop that up. The individuals could make more money. I could start something new. And the station could make money. Doug, what we call that is a win-win.
Feels like it, yeah.
Win-win. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I propose it just as an idea to kind of help out and then fulfill my interest in doing something new additionally. And then somehow within a matter of weeks, it became, if you don't start doing that 6 to 7 show on a regular basis, we're going to fire the cat.
He had to
what
go.
The hell just happened?
He needed to go.
I go, hold on a second. I came up with an altruistic idea that would, I didn't go, hey, I need, X amount of dollars more to do another hour, and theoretically get up earlier, even though I would already be up. And all of a sudden it became a loaded gun at my head that if I didn't do it, the cat would be fired. And I go, what the hell's going on here?
And it wasn't a money
So
grab.
that was fun. Anyway, there's another story for you.
Well, because I was there too anyways. So, I was running the board, but it's not like I was, begging for more money. I was there. I was sitting on the board, just listening to Fox Network, station. I could have easily...
Yeah, I guess it would have been... I don't think... Was that when Seymour was still with us? Yeah, Seymour. Seymour left, in 18. Mm-hmm. So that was with Seymour?
It was the tail end of Seymour.
Do you remember Plowhawk?
I thought it was the tail end of Seymour.
All right, so then it would have been 2018. So then, because the cat got whacked in September 2017, same day as Iggy, September 11th, easy to remember, September 11th, 2017. It was portrayed in the newspaper that he had decided to retire, which was a phenomenal thing. The cat, of course, didn't say that, but there's a quote. If you want to go back and look at it, there's a quote. And I'm going, wow, that's bold. And then magically, 2 weeks later, he decided to unretire. I wonder how that happened. And so I guess he got whacked again in 2018 if we didn't continue to do the show from 6 to 7, but somehow we were able to get around that. And then he was whacked twice in December of 2018 or 19, and it was going to be done via email just out of nowhere. And in both cases, one case we were able to get it stopped, and then in the other case, somehow it was written about in the newspaper while we were doing our Christmas party at Hot Shots. A magical celebration.
Yeah. So you went
Good times.
You went to
times.
You went to him and said, "I'd like to work more and make more money for the station." And they said, "If you don't, the cat gets the short haircut."
I couldn't believe it. And something else had happened at another time where I came up with I can't remember what the other idea was. And again, it was another thing where it wasn't I don't never really all that. I'm not a base salary person. I like upside, revenue shares. And so that again, it wasn't asking for more guaranteed money. And the same kind of thing happened. God, I can't remember. I think it was 6 to 7. And that I was going to get, this, I remember that because I was sitting at Kirkwood Brewhouse for this one. I don't know if you guys know this one, but I'm just in a storytelling mood today, Doug, especially since the show might not be on the air anyway, so it's essentially us just having a Zoom call. I think this was going to be 6 to 7 also, and I was told, okay, we can pay you this to do it, and it was a substantial amount of money, except, and it would have taken me to a very nice amount of money, but the problem was I was going to get the money, and the cat and Seymour were going to be fired. So the money was going to go from Jim Hayes and John Seymour to me. Essentially, I was just authorizing 2 hits, and then I was going to collect the money. And I go, well, I'm not doing that. And he goes, well, Bud, you got to start thinking of yourself here. And I go, well, I mean, I am. I'm going to take care of my family. I have a child now. But I'm not just going to, authorize, hits. I mean, what are we doing? So, yeah. My recommendation is if you have what you think is a good idea, maybe vet it with a couple of people before proposing it to people who might not necessarily have everyone's best interests at heart. Yeah, stories. Iggy, were you aware of those stories? You always seem to be hip to some things.
I don't think so. I knew about the morning show that they wanted to either you do it or Cat gets fired, which I thought to myself, what does he got to do with it? He's not even part of the show. It's me, Plowsy, and Tim. The other one I didn't hear. I didn't know them. But I mean, what do you expect? I mean, go to work for people who don't know anything about radio. That's what happens.
We should have gotten like teardrop tattoos every time a furlough happened. Like we're in like some sort of radio gang. I'd be tatted the F up, bro. Put the years.
Let's see what we got here. A million texts coming in. Guys, when Pepper and Jeannie wins for Best Show in St. Louis, is Iggy going to invite Claibs to the award ceremony? That's from the 314.
Well, I'm not going.
Why wouldn't you go?
I'm 100% going. I'm getting one of those light blue powdered suits and gonna make a joke of the whole thing.
We need the plaque. We need the plaque.
We need the plaque.
We need the plaque.
But you got to pay for the plaque.
We'll-
The plaque's
we
like
will-
$250.
We're gonna put a GoFundMe out there for
No,
that.
we'll go 5 ways. I don't care.
I'm only 2
figure out a
liquids,
way
so
to
I'm gonna
fund it.
need to
200
front at
liquid?
50.
Yeah, how much can a plaque be? Probably like $1.50. You can get that together in 5 minutes.
Yeah, especially if the plaque is going to say, you know, the award, the name of the show. That's
If
pretty
it says
unbelievable.
Pepper and Jeannie on it, it's a plaque for
gosh,
Best
yeah.
Radio Show.
That's
we have
pretty
to have that.
unbelievable. You could put that.
Doug, at that point, we have to have a black tie gala.
I would think. Will
Well, they
even know
better.
how to-
Our listeners better start voting on it.
Will they even know how to spell it? How do you spell it?
Has that already been determined? I would think it's over by now.
No, I
Didn't that
think
get
it's
announced
still-
like 2 months ago or something?
The finalists. There's 5 finalists now. I think you have until April 15th or so to vote.
Dotem has sent me so many Snapchats of him just, algorithm rolling through that thing. So I think we will win.
Well, there's
If I had
people
to
that
guess, I know Dotem is so dedicated to this.
Voting is through April 10th. It's right at the top of the STLmag.com page. There you go.
And you can vote once a day.
I'm going to go vote right now.
I haven't done a sportscast in a year and a half, and I'm up for sportscast of the year.
If we can sweep these awards, Doug, it just shows how great we are.
What category would it be under? Arts and entertainment, I guess?
Yeah.
Doug, there's arts and entertainment, automotive, beauty, food and drink, health and wellness, home and garden, shopping and services, and weddings. I would guess arts and entertainment.
There's everything they can think of to try to get people to come and buy the plaque when they win.
And it works because a lot of, it works for businesses too to get.
It's a brilliant marketing
customers.
plan.
It's great on both ends, honestly.
There's Best Invisible Dog Fence Company.
That's awesome.
Because we all have experience, not with one, but with multiple companies to be able to judge them.
Well, this is how it works. It's, if you want to spend some money in the St. Louis Magazine, run an ad, we will get you in the finals, and we'll put your name in there.
I don't know.
Invisible dog fence. How many people are voting on that with 5 different companies?
Yeah.
My vote is officially in. What else do we have here? Best radio station. Doug, we were not nominated for that. I'm surprised not to see HD2 up there.
Ouch.
Joy FM gets my vote perennially. Social media account influencer. The end is near, so let's drink beer. Brandon McNamee, he's the one who does the podcast with Wellington. That page has a bunch of people who subscribe to it. That's a Facebook page. Ruby Lee. Is anybody familiar with Ruby Lee?
No.
I'm not.
STL ain't bad. That's a social media account.
Oh my God.
Not familiar with that. Anybody familiar with that?
No.
We're at the Soccer Guy podcast. Is he a social media influencer, ravioli guy?
Corbin Cunningham, maybe that's him. I don't know. I don't know who these people are. R&R Ranch, and I'm sure they don't know who I am either. R&R Ranch. Those are the social media account influencers nominated for Best Social Media Account Influencer in St. Louis.
What makes an influencer? I have a friend. I'm not going to give her name because she used to be an intern at 1380 The Woman.
What's her initials?
They're narrowed down the field.
And she's very attractive. She was on TV for a while, but she calls herself an influencer, and she has like 6,000 followers. You can't really be an influencer with 6,000 followers.
What
on
are
Instagram.
we being influenced to do?
If you're local, that could be a local influencer. 6,000.
But I think
what's the influence they have on us?
So companies can send you products and stuff, and you wear them, and you promote them, and then influences people to buy them. That's your income.
Would companies send them products if they only have 6,000 followers?
Yeah, that's my point.
Maybe.
Doug, there is...
Depends if a local company might.
Yeah, national, though, like Kylie Jenner, I told you, makes $750,000 per Instagram post.
Right.
Who does?
Tag Kylie Jenner.
Yeah.
She almost makes $1 million for one post just tagging a brand. Just tagging the brand.
Wouldn't you stay up all night and tag brands at that rate?
1 million.
Well, if you're worth $1 billion, how much more can you use?
Her makeup company is worth much more than...
Well, why don't we start a makeup company?
Well, you're the only one who wears makeup.
I haven't worn makeup in a long time.
Yeah, we need to get in the velvet pajama industry and get you on cam, dog.
I think fusion. Fusion is where it's at.
Not pancake makeup.
No.
Mr. Licks feels like Pepperoncini is campaigning for this award. Iggy just said, I don't care about this dumb award. Iggy also just said there are 5 finalists. The voting ends on April 15th at 5 p.m., so please, everyone, go vote for us. That's from Mr. Licks.
I'm not going to lie. I think it'd be fun to win.
I didn't say that. I said I think sometime in April because Dotem sent me the page that got us, that said, hey, you got nominated, and it had all the information, but...
And I don't think I'm excited about, because I know we're not the best show, because we haven't had a show since, November? So it's been a little bit.
I thought when the Matty Dreads episode was a special edition, though.
I guess we ended right around the new year.
Katie Cush?
Yeah, Katie Cush, who's very active on Twitter.
Oh, really?
Getting really more interested in team play.
Yeah, we've been texting.
Team play?
Yeah, like more than 2 people, kind of getting involved in, the moresomes.
We've been texting back and forth lately.
But I think what really is sets it over the top. I think of the plaque. Where would we put it? And I think it would be hilarious to have best radio show in St. Louis Pepperoncini plaque.
For a show that's
you can
not
keep
on.
that forever.
Yeah.
I think. That's
It would be out. It would go out into the
Hubbard box.
Yeah, the Hubbard trophy case out in front with all the Navy awards. Our Pepperoncini would go up there.
Oh man, that one is that would be so money.
Yeah. We need this for you.
Yeah, I think we actually do. I think Hubbard needs it. They won't ever admit that, but I think to get there,
Might it inspire
Absolutely.
Might it inspire you to bring the show back?
We may do like an awards thank the listeners, show. Maybe make it 5-10 minutes. Just a little taste.
At least it would get us up there on the TV in the break room. When you walk in, it says the Arch has set a 10-year high for numbers 25 to 54. KC up 2 spots, a point up 2 spots, WIL up, and it could say, and Pepperoncini receives award for best show in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Wow.
As soon as it went off the air, people are so excited that they voted it the best show.
That would be huge. And everybody in this building would say, what is that?
Yes, they would. Well, they would learn. They'd probably start listening to a show that's no longer on.
Where can we find that? Podcasts are still
And Young. Ting Ting here. I'll be collaborating with Licks and Wacko, Clippins and Trimmins to raise money for this Pepin Jean Trophy. Hashtag stay tuned. Doug, that's from show ombudsman Brian Henshin, who now seems like he is sideways with the Warson Woods Wacko and Mr. Licks. I wonder if this will bring Mr. Licks and the Warson Woods Wacko together, Doug.
Well, I don't know. I haven't thought about it. I don't know that those two can be brought together.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Well, I don't know why Henshin wants to get in the middle of all that, but
now Ting Ting would be an influencer. She's got 3,000. She's got 3 million followers on YouTube.
Ting Ting.
3 million followers. So she's starting to do things now. When she does her before her ASMR thing starts, she'll do a little promo. Don't forget to come out and we got this new product out. So she's getting money because she's got 3 million followers.
Get money. Get money.
Well, what do we need to do to get 3 million followers?
Just give me some
Be
scissors.
on air probably would be awesome.
Give me some scissors and make me good looking.
The second part's going to be hard.
Yeah.
I can get you the scissors.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other one's going to be really...
I mean, I know how to do an ASMR video. You just need to be fairly attractive.
Yeah. Well, could you find someone who's attractive and coach them up and maybe split the proceeds?
Probably could. But you have to be into ASMR to know what you're doing. You can't just fake it.
That's where you come in as a coach.
If this person doesn't know anything about ASMR, they say, okay, now clip like this. No, they got to be into it.
But you train them.
I can't train
Come on,
somebody
Coach
to be
Stroh.
into something.
Look what you did to the Fontbonne bowling team.
I think ASMR needs to have like one where you're talking really quietly, kind of turning them on, a little bit more erotic, and have light Sibian background ambient noise.
Oh, for heaven's
Isn't there a pair of scissors in here?
Yeah, the right.
Doug, is there a pair of scissors in the Michelob Ultra Studios, which of course has 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs, and is the presenting sponsor of the J. Randolph Jr. Fan Page Club Championship, which is a month and a day away, and you can already start to feel the sweat on your palms as you picture standing over that ball on the number 1 tee on Sunday, April 30th, and all of the nerves and the adrenaline as you get ready to fire a 105 net 78.
Mm-hmm.
I'm jacked up for that, actually.
Are you? Okay.
I hope Orson Web's Wacko takes me to the Greenskeeper Make-A-Wish Day for all the poors for me to go out there and play.
Oh, would you like to
That
play
was
that?
the most fun I've had on a course in a while.
Orson Woods Wacko just texted me and said, I'm not going to name the course. Do not guess what the course is, please. But he said, just drove by a golf course, and some of the fairways look like the track at Churchill Downs.
Oh.
Doug, are the courses not in great condition right now?
Well, we've had a lot of rain and not much. It's 32 degrees right now.
Nice.
I scraped my car today.
Yeah, me too.
Anybody do that? I actually had to get the ice scraper out. It was that crazy.
It was wet this weekend on the courses. It was brutally wet out there.
I wanted to go with Chi-Town Play Baby because he was in town.
Where are you going to go, brah?
Anywhere. I think we were probably going to go to Gateway. It's probably the easiest to kind of meet up at, and it's just too wet. I don't like wiping my clubs off after every, thinking you're just on a soft piece of fairway and it's just nothing but mud. To me, it's like when Cletus golfs in the winter. It's like, how can you accurately judge your game? I know you like being out there, but it's really hard to actually play golf in some of those conditions. Not the golf course's fault. It's just...
And then with
we just got over winter.
Stuff like today where it's 32 degrees out, the ground gets cold again, then it has to dry out and unthaw. It's brutal. Every round in the spring damn near is wet. Yeah. Until like May, that's when you get some dry grass for the first
your clubs look great. If you don't have a towel, you're...
Yeah, you need 2.
Your clothes, your pants get muddy. And
you're coming up on your face.
You have to wear your old shoes.
And when you do the fishtails with the golf cart, it really tears up the fairways.
Yeah.
Mr. Licks disagrees with the Orson Woods Wacko, so it doesn't sound like they are on good terms. I don't know what he's talking about. St. Louis and the Log are in perfect shape. So, Doug, it sounds like St. Louis Country Club and Log Cabin are in good shape right now.
Well, with all the rain, I suppose if you've kept people off the courses might be in really good shape.
These courses don't get as much foot traffic, perhaps, as some others. If you are looking to get some work in, though, and get ready for the Fan Page Club Championship, well, here we go. We've got Clubhouse Turf for you. Clubhouse Turf, a new sponsor on TMA, is online at clubhouseturf.com, or you can call 314-834-2339. Let them know TMA sent you. What Clubhouse Turf is signature green design. They will build it in your backyard. Driving the ball 300 yards may impress people, but scoring amounts to getting the ball in the hole. How many times have you hit a great drive only to miss the green, skull a chip, and 3-putt your way to a double bogey? While tour players get up and down 2/3 of the time, scratch golfers still only get up and down about half the time. That's why the best way to lower your scores is to improve your short game. Tour players like John Rahm and Max Homa have installed celebrity greens in their backyards. Anyone can put down fake turf and call it a putting green, but if you want a golf green that putts true and gives you real grass performance while practicing chips, pitches, and bunker shots, the only company to call is Clubhouse Turf. That's St. Louis's exclusive partner of Celebrity Greens. Go online at clubhouseturf.com or call 314-834-2339. Check it out at clubhouseturf.com and let them know I sent you their way. It is Clubhouse Turf, a wonderful sponsor here of the Ryan Kelly Morning After. Also golf-related, Holderness and Bourne golf apparel. Truly incredible golf shirts. I mean, these things are at another level. And for our TMA listeners, you go to hbgolf.com, enter promo code TMA15, and you get 15% off your order. These are high-quality golf shirts. It was started by Alex Holderness and John Bourne 8 years ago, and they started the brand in 2015 after they were frustrated with the lack of great-fitting golf shirt options and wanted to come in and change that. Well, they certainly have done that. You can see Holderness and Bourne all over the PGA Tour now and in 1,500 of the country's best pro shops. It's Holderness and Bourne at hbgolf.com. TMA15 is what you enter when you check out, and you get 15% off your order. I'm going to be ordering some Holderness and Bourne golf shirts. So if you want to look like me, sans the shrinking, male pattern baldness, and just general unpleasant disposition, go to hbgolf.com and then enter promo code TMA15. We've got breaking news regarding the Pepper and Genie Award. This just came across my desk here in Jupiter, Florida. It comes from Timmy Walters. Doug, you know Timmy Walters, don't you?
Not really. I remember the name. I don't think I know who he is.
He has sent me a screenshot of his last campaign, which was to get 1380 The Woman the win for St. Louis Magazine's best radio station. That came in 2021. He contacted the director of marketing and revenue operations for St. Louis Magazine, and I read, "Greetings. I am contacting you because I've been made aware that our radio station's nomination for Best Radio Station was suddenly removed without notice from the A-List contest. Our station is 1380 The Woman. We worked very hard to campaign for votes and are deeply disappointed that we did not get the chance to win the category, even though we were listed on the website for around 24 hours. Please let me know if you are not the right contact or if you could forward me to the person best to speak about this matter. Think about it."
Oh, stop.
That's from Timmy Walters, Chief Technology Officer, 1380 The Woman.
That's good.
Doug, that email was responded to the very next day, March 17th, 2021, St. Patrick's Day. Timmy, thank you for reaching out regarding the radio station category in the A-List Reader's Choice ballot. Do you have any additional information about 1380 The Woman's current format and availability? It appears 1380 AM is now owned by Relevant Radio and no longer branded as 1380 The Woman, which is why it isn't listed in that category any longer. We would greatly appreciate any additional information you may have. And that came from St. Louis Magazine to Timmy Walters, who Doug signs his emails when he's doing business by saying, think about it.
The Woman station was just something that hit me like a bolt of lightning.
We should have sent that audio clip there.
Yeah.
With that email.
Well, maybe we should.
Listen
That
to
would have
this
been proof.
attachment.
Maybe we shouldn't keep this campaign going to get Pepper and Genie an award because they may hear that it's no longer on the air and suddenly
Dude, I could
remove
send them
that.
80 podcasts of the show, none of which they'd be interested in.
Yeah.
But it's way more information than what even 1380 The Woman had as they were on air.
It's still a show. May not be running every day, but it's still up there.
You had information like how to stay cool in the summer.
Yeah.
And what was the number one tip? Air conditioning?
Don't pee. I think the number one tip was don't pee on your buddy. And then the number 2 tip was ice packs on your wrist.
Oh.
I think I might have said...
Good tips.
I think I might have said taking Burt Lancaster's role is just one day, just go pool hopping. Just go in a neighborhood that's got a lot of pools and just jump fences and just swim for a little bit. Then jump to the next pool when you get kicked out. Just
What
spend
does
a
that
day.
have to do with Burt Lancaster?
He was in a movie called The Swimmer, where that's what he did. He would just go from... He was living... It was L.A., Beverly Hills, and he would just go from house to house and jump in their pool.
What a picture.
And the quickest way to cool down your body is actually through your nutsack.
What?
So if you dip your balls in like ice or ice water, your whole body instantly. It's like your feet and your hands. It's like pressure points. Yeah. So like...
Well, that's a nice tip. You
like
guys
literally,
do
you
deserve
just
this
get
award.
ice cold water in your sink and just teabag it. It sounds really difficult,
How do you
actually.
get
I don't
up
know.
there to
I don't know
teabag?
if
You need a ladder?
I don't know if you go crab walk or. Not quite for sure how that goes. But yeah, that'll instantly cool your body. So not your typical tips of sticking your face in the freezer or turning down the AC.
If you're that hot, though, you've got serious problems.
That you're crab walking on your sink
Crab
to dip your
walking,
balls into
yeah.
ice water. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
I've
you
never
got a
been that
problem.
hot.
You got a problem there, yeah. But that's the podcast there, so it's.
You ever take one of those cold baths?
See, I don't like it.
Ice baths?
Even after a long golf, I can't do cold, like ice-cold things, like showers or baths.
Supposed to be very good for you.
Too much of a jolt.
Cryogenic things where you get into the deep freeze and...
Well, they have tubs full of ice that athletes jump in sometimes, and supposedly it's great for inflammation and...
KG and O-Town's big into that.
Yeah. I've heard of people who, after their shower, they take the last minute of their shower, they turn it on as cold of water as it'll go and stay there. And
It's supposed to be better for your face, cold water.
Yeah. It also wakes you up. Like, hot showers like increase the melatonin in your body. Well,
I mean, I do
cold showers
after...
do the opposite.
Agreed.
Like when... member guest last year with Tim, I mean, every day after I got done playing golf, I came home and just stood under a cold shower for like 30 minutes. It was 100 degrees.
Are you
every
humble
day.
bragging that you played in the middle?
No, it was just 102 degrees every day.
Oh.
Cryo. Yeah, that's...
Probably should have played that one a minute and a half ago, but it's still evergreen.
Freeze like a car!
I can't find that
That's the
one. I
best
think
one. You lost it?
No, I didn't
Doug,
lose it.
we work with KG in O-Town, and he says, I wish there would have been this kind of enthusiasm for the show a couple months ago, and I was trying to give this thing CPR. That's from KG in O-Town.
But no spot, and I like KG, but me and Iggy were not addressed by sales or by any sponsor that, hey, are you guys coming back? We'd like to sponsor. We've done enough shows that this is the show that you're getting. I'm not going to do any more song and dance for people. This is what you're going to get. If you don't want to buy it, don't buy it. But there was no, I mean...
He was close to getting you guys
saying
lots
you
of
had
sponsors
lined up, but no one actually reached out to us. Again, love KG, but the name of the game is dollars and cents, and, you know, it doesn't make sense for us to do it without it. So, you know...
Doug, watch this. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Think about that.
Yeah, nice.
So,
I'm glad you said watch this, because I really perked up and paid attention.
And, again, I'm not mad at KG or anything. It's just none of that... I mean, there may have been sponsors lining up, but nobody contacted me saying, hey, let's talk about how we can, you know, integrate our business into the podcast. Maybe we can change X, Y, Z. I would have been down for those types of meetings, but I'm not going to continue to do this song and dance of, you know, doing it just for doing it purpose.
Well, it was only like 10 or 15 minutes, right? Right after the regular show?
We had 30, but it was enough to where that's the meat and potatoes, and we don't need to do any more pony shows.
Yeah.
If you don't want it, you ain't get it.
Look, everything I do is for the station.
You're a hero, basically.
If the station's not going to make any money off things we do, then we won't do it. We'll think of something else, so it's no big deal.
Again, I ain't mad at anybody at all. I just think...
No, we could have continued to do it.
Get it going again.
Didn't want to.
Get her going.
I guess it's been about a year.
Earn this trophy.
We started it, right?
No,
we started before the last
We haven't been off in a year. We've barely been here a year.
No, I meant like when we started Pepper and Genie.
Oh, I don't know.
I think it may have been Postmasters. I don't know.
It was a heck of a program.
People in the city loved it.
No, they absolutely
obvious
loved
reasons.
it. Yeah.
Well, we pitched it to Tommy at a meeting one day that it was going to be like a show wrap up show, and just, you know, kind of go through the things. And he said, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, if you look at actually the first show note or second show note, I actually called it the TMA wrap-up show, and then it turned into Pepper and Genie. Like two episodes in, we're like, okay, we're not wrapping anything up.
Shut that dog up, Tim, please.
Doug, I mean, we've been here for a month, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a rabid dog. Is it Plowhawk? I know you're a lover of man's best friend. Can you identify a dog by its bark?
It's a tough one. I mean, that's a bigger dog. It's at least 40, 50 pounds, I would say.
Yeah.
So you can kind of tell the girth of it, but the breeds are all they're all different. So
it's the first time I've heard a dog bark in a month. And he's decided to do it right in the middle of the presentation, fresh off of the lawn crew yesterday. Just alarming, candidly. But you know what isn't alarming? Anybody want to take one guess what isn't alarming?
Isn't alarming. Can we have initials?
Customer service from this particular car dealership.
Oh, yeah.
Yes!
Sure, that's not alarming. Yeah.
And today's Jamie's birthday.
yeah, I texted
Is it really?
him. Yes.
Happy birthday,
Happy birthday, Jamie.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
The relationship, how great is it?
32 years
The
old.
best.
Oh, it's been fantastic.
He's 32?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's only 32.
Only 32.
Yeah.
StLouisAcura.com and AltonToyota.com. And you should probably call or text that secret number and say, happy birthday, Jamie. That's what you should do. On
Here's
that
the
secret
number.
Doug,
I have
what is it, 314-252? Oh, you got it.
Yes, 314. 252-0029.
I remembered it from yesterday. You know how I remembered it?
Nice.
I just remember 252. That's pretty easy. I just remembered 252. Ray Otto.
Ray Otto.
He was number 00 for the Raiders.
Gus Otto.
Gus Otto. And
Went by Ray.
I call him Ray. And Vince Coleman. That's how I remembered it.
Okay. Well, that
was Chris Carpenter 29 as well?
I think he was.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. But I like Vince Coleman. He's my all-time favorite Cardinal, along with number 51 and number 1. And, boy, Doug, who do you go with after that? Who's your Mount Rushmore favorite Cardinals? Are they always going to be the guys you watched when you were a tyke?
Yeah. Yeah. For me, it's Ken Boyer.
Ken Boyer will always be mine.
I have a weird
14?
Yep.
Yeah, and I like Joe Torre when I was a teenager because he was a star of the team back then.
Yeah.
And because of The Godfather and how he performed as Sollozzo.
Ozzie Smith, I think, was unbelievable to watch for many years. And then I guess McGuire because of the entertainment value there.
Number 25.
I mean, you can't, for entertainment value alone, you can't beat McGuire and Ozzie, can you?
No, I remember.
I like those running Redbirds, but yeah, 1998. I think what transpired colors how I view that now. But at the time, it was incredible. I was a little frustrated that it all became about his at bats and not the team winning.
Yeah,
but
didn't
since
care
the
at all
team
about
wasn't
the
very
team.
good.
Yeah.
That was fine.
It's hard to believe you could have one guy hitting 70 home runs and the team not being very good. Well, they had nothing around him.
Lacking pitching, I think Kent Merker, Bobby Witt, probably Matt Morris. Was Alan Bennis was hurt. Andy Bennis was with the Diamondbacks. Doug, do you have the 19? Was Donovan Osborne already gone?
None of these players.
Maybe Lance Painter.
Todd Stoudemire was traded.
Lance Painter.
Royce Clayton and Darren Oliver in July of 98. They got Fernando Tatis. Oh, I'm trying to think.
My favorite was.
Go either way, Munganist.
Yeah.
I liked Edgar Renteria. I know he, in terms of like.
He was 99, I think.
Yeah, in terms of watching a player, loved his defense. At the time, as a kid, you don't realize, maybe he wasn't the best with the media. I don't know. You just always look at him as a solid player. Wasn't flashy or anything.
Well, he acted like he couldn't speak English, which made our relationship difficult.
That's a challenge. But again, if I was him, and I didn't have to talk to the media, I had that option, I would probably do the same.
It was an absolutely brilliant move on his part.
How did you, as you're a kid, everybody comes up with their favorite player. How did that person become your favorite player? I mean, with me, Ken Boyer was the first person to ever sign my popcorn box where it said autographs.
Did you make him cry?
No, I was a little kid.
That was
Mickey?
So that was the first autograph I ever got, and he became my favorite player. But what was your criteria for a guy to become your favorite player?
Well, he was the best guy on the team when I was little. He was the MVP. 64? Star of the 64 World Series. That's just when I got to be old enough to know what was going on. So that was it for me. He was the best player they had.
My favorite player as a kid, Andrew Jones. Loved watching him play. I don't know why, but the Atlanta Braves teams at the time when I was a kid in the 90s were just so freaking fun to watch. I didn't have a favorite team really, living in Central Illinois. Andrew Jones was a stud, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing that a kid is now drafted. Like, that's how long it's been that now he has a kid that's, first overall pick or second overall.
I think for me with Willie McGee, Doug, was it Game 3 of the 1982 World Series? I think he had 2 home runs, and he had the catch where he robbed Gorman Thomas by leaping above the wall.
Mm-hmm. No.
I think that was it.
It was definitely in Milwaukee.
And E.T. had just come out, and they called him E.T. McGee, and I loved that as a kid. I'm 5 years old, 6 years old.
Yeah, those were exciting players back then, too. Him especially. If he hit one in the gap, you thought he might just circle the bases. He was so darn fast.
Yeah.
And then he'd walk away like he'd done something bad, like he was, gosh, I'm sorry, shoulder slumped, walking pigeon-toed.
Didn't he come into the dugout one time? I don't know what he did in the outfield. He made a mistake, and he walked running toward the dugout and just threw his glove in the crowd.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, he just kind of tossed it into the crowd.
I miss, like, the uniforms and color patterns and schemes they did with even in the NBA, Major League Baseball, like, the jerseys were so unique and cool and fun. You know what I mean? Like,
The Pirates wore train conductor caps.
Yeah, that's cool. Like, you had the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, like when they were an expansion team, they had some pretty sweet, like, jersey. The Diamondbacks had those, like, pinstripe, ugly jerseys. Everything seemed to be more unique, and now it seems like every jersey seems to be looking the same. Kind of the same text, very blah. I really miss the creativity back in the 90s, man, in the 80s. Those jerseys were slick.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, they do wear more jerseys now than they used to. They used to wear white or gray. It was either white or it was gray. And now sometimes they
minus the Astros, they wore the same uniforms. Remember that? Wasn't that weird?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I never noticed.
Home and Road, when they had the what do they call that?
Like the sunrise-ass uniforms?
Yeah, that's what it was, yeah.
Oh, those were terrible.
Oh, those were terrible.
People love to say the 90s uniforms were great. Some of them are so ridiculously bad.
Yeah, but at the time, it's like everybody wanted a bunch of flash and color.
It was all teal. It was just teal or purple.
A lot of teal in all of the sports.
Memphis Grizzlies
minus the NFL, I think. I don't think. Well, I guess the Jaguars maybe.
The Vancouver Grizzlies had a sick one.
Yeah, teal. Pistons.
Padres had
teal.
some horrible
Sharks,
uniforms.
Marlins,
They're brown
Spurs.
and yellow. Brown and yellow uniforms. Those didn't go over so well.
Who was the first player? And I'm asking this legitimately.
Who was the first person?
The first player that walked out of the dugout and I'm not wearing stirrups. I'm not wearing the long socks. I'm going to pull my pants all the way down to my shoes.
Might have been George Hendrick.
Silent George.
Really?
Yeah, because you never saw the Hendrick. His pants always went down to his feet.
That's why Griffey. That's why I love Griffey. He had pants all the way down to like the bottom of his cleat.
Yeah,
I love that look.
I don't know why
the
that's
Cubs
a bad
wore
look.
blue jerseys and white pant on the road during the 1980s. That's from the 618. That's correct. Remember that?
Yeah.
Jody Davis. Watch this. Jody.
Nice.
Jody. Wonderful.
They were a fun team to watch.
Ron Say, the Penguin.
Davey Lopes on that team, I think.
He was on the Dodgers.
Yeah, but I think he went to the Cubs.
Yeah, but he was part of that great Dodger infield for many years. The Dodgers have great uniforms. They haven't changed much.
Beautiful.
Kind of like the Cardinals in a blue.
See, the Dodgers and
beautiful uniforms.
I wish I that's the one ballpark I want to go to as well. I know it's not flashy, doesn't have the fanciest of things.
Biggest.
It looks so cool, like where it's at, like down in the cat
ravine.
It's down in Chavez Ravine.
Obviously, it's Chavez Ravine, yeah, but it's so cool. Like
apparently the traffic getting out of there is brutal because
Yeah,
there's one highway to get back on.
I don't know if I'll ever go to California. I've never been, and I don't know if I have an interest. But if I did, I'd probably try to either hit up San Francisco or hit up LA.
Yeah, you have to go to those places at least once to see it.
Yeah, man.
If you park at Dodger Stadium in the one spot where most people park, when you walk in, you're at the very top of the stadium. Then you got to walk down.
Because all the pictures, like when you see, man, that's really sweet.
Yeah.
I like things that haven't really changed. Like I like Lambeau. I'm glad they have a new one, but kind of the historic feel of a stadium does have its perks.
You wonder how long the Red Sox will hang in there with Fenway Park. You think they'll just go forever with that?
But you can't expand it because, like, where it is, you would have to, like, move roads and build it because it's so tight and narrow, right, at that area. Like, you have what you have there.
Yeah. Oh, people would they'd lose their mind if they decided to build a new park that was twice the size because they sell out every game, I think. They're leaving a lot of money on the table by having such a small stadium.
Doug Stephen Wildwood looks down on Busch Stadium from his apartment, which he just re-upped a lease, and he would like to talk about it all here right now on our Boy Slut Wednesday, in which we call in and tell our sluttiest stories. Good morning, Steve.
Hello, Steve. Steve!
Hey, boss!
There he is. Okay.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Doug, you coming down to the big channel tonight?
I am, yes. Mm-hmm.
You want to come by for a cocktail?
I don't think. I think I'm busy.
go.
I think I'm just as busy as a Dickens.
Bring those other two gals on the dais over too.
Well, no, they're busy as well.
Hubba.
Okay.
Where can I smoke the beezy at? You got a balcony over there, bud?
Don't say busy.
What's that?
I said, where can I smoke a beezy at? On your balcony?
And no smoking in the building. You have to go downstairs and outside.
Okay, well, I didn't mean in your building.
What's that?
I said, I didn't mean in your building, but I do want to see your apartment.
We'll come by anytime except tomorrow.
Well, what's wrong with tomorrow?
It's too crazy tomorrow. And, I don't want to be getting phone calls from the front desk to let people up and all this stuff. Everybody who is going to be with me tomorrow will be in there by like 11 o'clock.
No, but we're not welcome.
any other day.
I respect that.
Tomorrow's the day we want to be there.
Well, then come by, Doug.
Can you get us
They
some
let
free
you in.
parking?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't think I can do that. They don't. They really are stingy with the parking.
Do you have to pay to park?
$150 a month.
Do you have to pay to park there?
That's actually not bad.
$150 a month, Doug.
Oh gosh.
I don't think that's that bad.
No, I mean it is what it is. I mean, I renewed through the end of the year, so I'll move out. Actually, my lease ends December 24th.
Wow, that's
well, that'll be convenient.
That's
to move
hectic.
out at Christmas.
On Christmas Eve, I'm just going to sit in there and try to have them remove me on Christmas Day. Come on.
Why are you moving out? Too expensive? Or tired of the city?
Well, when we signed the lease to move there, we had 0 grandkids, and now we have 4 and 1 on the way. It's just too hard to. We watch them a lot, and it's hard to have them over in that environment. So we're working on a house in St. Louis Hills. Now.
Oh, I see.
Look at this.
Oh, Doug.
What do you mean you're working on it? You're building one, or?
No, it just needs work. I mean, but we're gonna. So like St. Gabe's picnic, come on over for the pony.
Oh my! How do you do?
It's in September now, right?
Well,
I can't get a straight answer on when the school picnic is, Doug. I know you're monitoring it.
I'm not.
Do you know when the St. Gabriel School picnic is this year?
I do not monitor grade school picnics.
I want to go on the record here. This might be my most controversial take in the 19 years of this radio show, and part of me wants to save it for Balloon Party. But here it is. The St. Gabriel School Picnic is a June event, and I'd like to put a period. And what do you say now, Doug, when you want to get likes on Twitter? Full stop?
Well, that's something you can say.
No cap.
That's all I've got to say, period.
And may delete.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if June does sound better for the picnic just because it's during the summer. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
But
you got too much going on in college football, and Cardinals are in the playoffs usually. I mean, I don't know. I don't like the October. It's been October lately. I don't know about September. I'm not happy about it, Steve, either way. I would reconsider moving to St. Louis Hills until they finalize school picnic plans.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put everything on hold. Because of that.
There you go, Doug. We do real estate counseling now on the show, in addition to boy slut stories. You have any boy slut stories for us, boy?
I masturbated at 12:30 last night.
Oh gosh,
that's actually kind of depressing. But also, like, I need to know a little more. Was it in the bathroom, or did you?
No, I was out on the couch.
Oh.
Is that couch on the balcony so we could peer in?
No, it's on the living room. I'll go live with my masturbation session if you want.
Okay, that's enough.
What's wrong with that, Doug? We're telling our boy slut stories today.
Yeah. Doug, so how many, now that you're kind of done with Camo Beat, can you share some stories of who the hottest anchors were and how many of you sang?
Yeah, Doug, why don't you tell those stories?
A tell-all book.
I cannot tell. I cannot say, no.
I'm just joking with you, Doug. I like that Steve Templeton.
Well, everybody does,
Good job. Yeah.
He's been there for a while now, hasn't he? Like probably 15, 20 years, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a bit of a stick up his ass, but, he's kind of seems like the type of guy you can trust.
Sure, he's a fantastic meteorologist.
Well, what about Iggy? Iggy gives Iggy, what about you with your forecast?
Iggy walked out and left.
Yeah, he does.
No longer with us.
Grabbing a smoke.
What happened?
But, hey, I wanted to let you guys know, too, I did spend 2 days down at Grove 23.
Now, what is that?
Doug, that's Michael Jordan's golf course, just a little to the north of Jupetown and Hobe Sound. Am I correct? It's Hobe Sound. Steve, I haven't gotten the invite yet.
Yes. Yeah, I probably won't get another one after talking about it. But it is amazing. It's the most amazing course ever. I'm still terrible at golf. I didn't even break 100, but I didn't care. I had a stand moment, too, because we had 4 caddies, and a guy, we're at the 18th hole, crappy drive, like 125 yards. I'm like 250 or 260 from the green, and I pull up my 3-wood, and there's people up on the green, and I wait a little bit, and he goes, "You don't have to wait." I go, "I guess you've seen my game," and he goes, "Yeah." And so I take my 3-wood, and I literally rolled it at the feet of the people on the green, and it was my proudest moment of my whole life. It was the best shot. And I go, "That was my best shot of the day." He goes, "I know."
That was it. He wasn't even excited. He was just thankful that he didn't have to watch another five
that
shots.
sounds a lot like Stan. That sounds like Stan might be spending the winters down in Jupiter. Yeah. Stan was not pleased with our pairing by the time 18 rolled around either.
Steve, that's when you hold the finish and stare at the caddy the entire time. You don't even look at the ball.
Pose that hoe.
You pose and stare at the caddy and then saunter your way out.
If you would have been with me all day, I'm not staring anybody down at that point.
You tell him it's go time.
Reading these putts, telling me exactly where to hit it, and it's like
somebody told me, Steve, that they have drones serve food and beverages on that golf course.
No, they stopped that. They almost killed a caddy.
Oh.
So they stopped that because they would just order. You could order from your phone or tell the four caddy, and they would bring it out to you. But and they give you bottles of beer and everything. And actually, when we were there, so Albert Pujols was in the group in front of us. We had lunch afterwards there, a big group of us and Albert, and he was telling stories and everything. And we're sitting there. Reggie Jackson walks up to Albert Pujols while we're there and goes, "Hey, Mr. 700," and they start talking. Then right behind me was DJ. Then Biggio and Bagwell were at another table.
Stop this name dropping.
White. I mean, it was weird, Doug. I didn't feel like I felt so out of place, first of all, but it was like the weirdest thing ever. And then
how did you get in there?
What?
How did you get in there?
My neighbor's a member.
Who is his neighbor?
I'm not telling you, Doug.
Is it someone that we would know?
No, you wouldn't know. You know what? This guy is, I love him. He's the nicest guy in the world. He took us to this thing, and he knows a lot of these guys, and just, he was a member out at, Shadow Creek in Vegas. That's where they all started.
Wow.
But like,
so he's a member at Grove 23 in Shadow Creek?
Yeah, I think all of them are. You know, it's like a crazy, it's a
What, is he
weird
on HD1?
CEO.
Yeah, I get the sense this guy might be an HD1 guy.
Quite possibly, but it was amazing. It's like if a normal guy just started a country club without rules. Like, people are playing golf in their t-shirt and gym shorts, and you know, it's just very casual. It's all about the golf. You know, it's really cool. It was.
There's
amazing.
none of the Real Housewives nonsense going on?
No, I only saw a couple women there. So.
But if you're a member there, you already have money, so you don't really need to show out. You know, I like to respect that. It's like, okay.
They made it such that the practice facility is like the best in the world, so they all come there and practice. Like, literally, I was sitting there at the valet. We were waiting for, van to take us to the airport, and I was talking to the valet guy, and I'm like, there was this yellow Ferrari there that's Michael Jordan's. And then next to it, there's one of those Mercedes, those boxy Mercedes, like SUV.
G-Wagon.
Yeah, there you go. And it was
Doug Drink has a G-Wagon.
Does he?
Yeah.
G-Wagon.
He's using his.
I think this one was nice, but I was like standing there, and I'm like, I love that Ferrari, but this is the coolest car I've ever seen. I go, whose is that? And he goes, well, he's walking right up here, and it's Brooks Koepka. Walks right by me and gets in his car and leaves. But it was crazy.
I mean, why don't we hang out at Grove 23 and do the show? They would love it.
Win a few majors and we're in.
I don't like the attitude that the caddies have, though. It's pretty easy to be a know-it-all Mr. Big Shot when you're not the one swinging the club. Oh, just hit it straight. Oh, you didn't hit it straight. You don't know anything about golf. Well, you hit it then.
Hand him the club. Okay, hit it.
Why aren't you playing instead of looking for golf balls?
Doug, I totally deserved it. I mean, if you could have seen my game that day, I deserved it. I mean, I don't deserve any respect on the golf course whatsoever. When you can't break 100 and you've actually taken lessons and gotten worse, that's a bad sign, Doug.
Oh, well, it still doesn't excuse caddies with attitudes.
I deserved it. But if anybody wants me for a member guest, I'm a 25-plus handicap, so...
A dangerous 25, too.
Yes, exactly.
Are you in the you playing in the Fan Page Club Championship?
I put my thing up there, but I don't know if I'll get drawn.
We'll get you in there.
Can you make it easy for me? Yeah. No,
we'll crumble up your name.
It'd be completely fair. It should be fair.
Well, if you can get us free parking down there, yeah, we'll get you in, no problem.
Doug, you can come down and sleep with me.
No, what?
Put that off.
Huh?
Help me out at 12:30 when I need a little
Okay,
help.
that's enough.
Think about
I'm not thinking about it.
Come on, Doug. And actually, Reggie Jackson scolded us. We're all standing out there, me and a bunch of other schmoes, waiting for the van, and he comes by, and he stops, and he looks at the Ferrari, and he said, "Is that some special Ferrari?" And we're like, "We don't know what." He gets out of his car, goes into the Ferrari, Michael Jordan's Ferrari, opens the glove compartment, and said, "Yeah, it's this whatever Ferrari it is." He's like we would have known.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. He's a big Ferrari guy, that Reggie Jackson. So he was. It was fun though.
This name dropping must stop.
Wow, I was with Michael Jordan, that Michael Jordan club. I saw Brooke Koepka.
Craig Biggio.
Got me another story.
Steve, as you might imagine, the story isn't going over real well in the engineer design facilities text inbox. Nobody is real happy when people are happy. If Steve's story is true, he should just take a dive off of the top of One Cardinal Way right now. Short of a threesome with Abigail Mack and Vanessa Veracruz, that's the greatest thing a man can experience. That's from Joan Jett's groping hand. He is, or she is, skeptical of the truth of this story.
Well, go stand down there at Clark and Walnut there, and I'll land on you.
Oh.
I'd also like to say too, this fan page. I like when people ask for recommendations, and I try to get recommendations too. Because, you got 8,000 people or how many ever on the fan page. We all have common interests. So why wouldn't you ask people like that? Like when you go to Yelp or you go to Google, it might be some, housewife in Atlanta or somewhere making the suggestion. You want people who are the same as you to make the recommendation.
Do you?
You need a guy that says, "Hey, go to the Angry Beaver on a Tuesday."
I think, Iggy, I don't want to speak for you, but I think what Iggy's contention is on the recommendations and some of the people who text in with regards to the recommendations, that they're not really sincerely asking for recommendations, but for whatever reason, when anybody travels outside of the 314-618-573 or 636, there's a portion of people who feel an obligation to post a picture and let you know that they've done so, and therefore it isn't really a seeking of a recommendation, Steve, but rather a brag.
Humble brag.
That, I think, is the issue. Is that what you feel, Iggy?
Yeah, I feel it's a humble brag. Now, if somebody says, "Hey, I need some siding on my house. I've got a few quotes, but anybody out there have a good experience with the company?" That's different. Yes, just got back from Monte Carlo. Next, we're going to Belize. Any good restaurants that you can recommend? Come on.
Looking to get my tires rotated here in France. Anybody got a oil dealer?
It's just a humble brag where you're at.
Yourself.
I don't see a lot of that. I just see people. It's a community of people who have a lot of common interests. So I always think. I've gone to the fan page for several things, and I've always gotten good recommendations. And I've tried to give as good a recommendation as I can. And a lot of times when you're going somewhere you've never been, you want some pro tips. And a lot of the people on the fan page have been places. So, I don't know. I don't care. I love the fan page. I think it's fun.
Clip that off. Clip that off. It's great to have support for the fan page.
Yeah, let me tell you something else that I guarantee you goes on. When people ask for, "Hey, I'm heading to, San Fernando Valley this week. Any good
San Fernando Valley?
Isn't that a gritty area
any
of
good
Los Angeles?
steakhouse?
That's where they shoot the stag films.
Yeah. Okay.
Sick.
All right. I'm heading to. Let's just think of a place that's in the
Palm
United
Springs,
States,
maybe
but
Palm
kind
Springs.
of out of the way.
Napa Valley, maybe. Sonoma Valley, if you're looking for valleys.
No, let's just say, okay, I'm going to.
I'm in Tribeca.
I'm going to Palm Springs this week.
Okay.
Buggy whip.
Yeah. What? Any good restaurants I should try out? And
Buggy whip.
And I guarantee you what a lot of people are doing because they'll have like 100 recommendations. There's no way 100 people on that page have been in Palm Springs. So
why not?
Come on.
Come on. I love that.
It's in California. It's not in Germany.
It's very, very wealthy people. It's very expensive to go there and stay there.
Doug Iggy thinks our audience is not sophisticated society.
So when you have 100 people commenting, go to Wally Frogs. It's got
Wally
great.
Frogs?
Wally Frogs in Palm Springs.
You know what they do?
That's correct.
They do the same thing you should have done.
It's the Ruby Tuesday.
They get on there and they Google great restaurants in Palm Springs, and they see Wally Frogs, known for their onion rings and triple burgers. Yeah, you got to get to that Wally Frogs. Their triple hamburger and fries are the best I had. All they're doing is Googling it, finding one, and then putting up like they've been there. So even people commenting are trying to humble brag even though they've never been there.
Iggy, but people a lot of times will tell you, like, whether you need a reservation, what they did, and stuff like that. I mean, I have full confidence that out of all these listeners and people on the fan page, everybody's done about everything you could do, just because you don't. A lot of people who don't have all the money in the world still do great things because of their work or whatever, you know?
Or just bad financial management. It's all possible.
I didn't say everybody on there, but the majority of them are just humble bragging.
Hey, I'm in Brooklyn. Just left Brooklyn, I just left Brooklyn. And
I needed some sheets, so I went to New York.
Anybody know where the nearest Bass Pro is?
Actually, we were in Boston last week, and Fenway Park is cool. We went over there. They built this music venue on Fenway Park, a brand new music venue. It's like the pageant on steroids. If you ever get a chance to see someone there, go see them. It's perfect. It's a perfect venue for music. We saw the Dropkick Murphys there, and
you're breaking up. You're breaking up.
All right, we lost him.
Well, the call's been 45 minutes. He's probably running out of battery life.
Oh, I don't know.
We lost him.
A lot of texts are coming in, as you might imagine. 314-881-TMA5. Flip Wilson says Iggy's lack of self-awareness is alarming. KG in O-Town says, if I got to be poor and not leave St. Louis, ain't nobody leaving St. Louis. That's KG in O-Town. Glove blogger Tom Traven says these fan pagers need to stop leaving their one-bedroom apartments in the poor part of St. Louis. Mr. Licks says the only thing that scares me is that people are asking for financial advice on the fan page. And I don't think there's a more concentrated collection of morons anywhere else other than the fan page. Please do not go to the pin for financial advice. I beg of you. Doug, that's Mr. Licks, and he doesn't feel like people on the fan page are qualified to give financial advice.
No, that's when you go to Mark Hanna.
Unless you tag Mark Hanna. He's on the fan page.
Yeah, he must have tried to buy a Fuddruckers franchise.
Well, I don't know if that's going to fly.
But Mark Hanna can help if we were going to weave one him. My bad. I didn't mean to step on that.
Yeah, I mean, he's the sponsor of Jeremy Rutherford, who's going to join us at 9 o'clock, and his number's 314-889-0503. In the late 1980s, his trajectory was skyrocketing as he played a real huge role in the end of the Cold War. And since then, he has decided to set up and be a financial advisor in St. Louis. And now you can talk with the man who ended the Cold War. 314-889-0503. He'll probably tell you a story or two about that speech in Berlin. But then he will get your portfolio to be strong to quite strong. Go to evergreenstl.com and work with the great Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies. I'd also recommend working with CD or Doug. Who's CD or Doug? Well, that's Long Go Biggs. When you are injured, it is a confusing process, and what Long Go Biggs will do is take the hassle out of your hands. Most people don't know how to even begin an insurance claim. They'll walk you through everything. There's potentially a lot of money on the line, and they're going to help you get every dollar you deserve. Go to longobiggs.com. That's LONGOBIGGS.com. Now, you hear a lot of advertisements, you see a lot of commercials for the giant out-of-state law firms, but these are people who don't care about their reputation in the community because they're not tied to the St. Louis community. CD and Doug, they are from the South Side, and they will be handling your case. No matter what, CD or Doug will be the lead attorney on your case. They're not just going to delegate it to somebody fresh out of law school. It's Long Go Biggs. Loyal listeners of TMA, online at longobiggs.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements. Carlos Spicehuiner says, that's right, don't go to the fan page for financial advice. Instead, please call Mr. Licks and purchase a policy, since he's currently in the midst of an insurance company pyramid scheme intern program and has run out of cousins and great aunts to add to the client list. That's Carlos Spicehuiner.
Well, you hate to get caught up in a pyramid scheme.
Well, unless you're starting it.
I didn't know Mr. Licks was caught up in one.
Yeah, if you're starting it, it's okay. Are they illegal? They're not,
I watched that.
Unethical, but not illegal, right?
I watched that Madoff documentary.
Yeah, I watched it as well. I don't know if I would call it a documentary. You call it a biopic, bio-series, Nurse? Anybody?
Well,
Jackson, have you watched it, good or bad?
Well, they had the real people some of the people that were involved in it, and then they had like actors.
That was a docudrama.
Docudrama, that's right. Nice.
I thought it was well done. There's some things in there I didn't know. But that was a pyramid scheme. It was a Ponzi scheme. Isn't that the same thing?
No, it's a little different.
I don't know what the difference would be.
I think a pyramid scheme is like you need like more numbers. Ponzi scheme is a form of fraud that lures investors and pays profits to early investors with funds from more recent investors. So kind of similar.
Yeah, it's kind of like a pyramid scheme. You're taking some money that people gave and gave them to other ones, and they join, and you take that money, give it to them, and keep that money.
But that's different than multi-level marketing, isn't it?
I don't know.
With scams and flams.
I'm a dumb.
Well, like some of these, I think like Mary Kay Cosmetics, if I'm not mistaken, where you start out and you're a distributor, and then you hire people underneath you, and you hope they hire people underneath them, and then you get a piece of that. It's multi-level marketing.
Yeah, that's
multi-level marketing was the only company that would call me back when I was applying for jobs in the pandemic.
Yeah.
I got no calls back, but within 20 minutes of sending my application to one of those, immediately I was in for a job interview. Crazy.
And it was the same deal with TMA as well. And Doug, what does that say for this program?
Well, not a lot.
Yep,
not a lot.
It was scam artists and TMA. That's where I got job offers from.
And there might be an overlap on the Venn diagram.
Real.
Well, here we go. Here's a recommendation. It sounds like, guys. Serious inquiry as a non-golf fan. Does anyone have any recommendations for things to do at Augusta National next week while they're playing or whatever? That is from the 217. So
anything to do at Augusta?
Yeah.
Watch golf.
But don't get a pimento cheese sandwiches. Those are horrible.
I like pimento cheese.
Bad.
It's a spread for a cracker. It's not a sandwich.
Just go back. What I did, I don't know where it happened to it. I probably lost it somewhere. But wherever you can, get yourself an azalea and pick it. Azalea. Pick it, put it in your pocket, and then bring it home with you.
Oh.
And then put it in like a plastic bag and say, this is from Augusta National.
Wouldn't they frown on that if you're picking their flowers?
Well, if they don't see you.
They'll take you to that cabin that blends in with the rest of the woods.
So your
Teach you a
recommendation is to go and pluck the flowers off the golf course.
Take some sort of memorabilia, maybe get over there on the pine trees and take some of that wood chips.
Pine straw.
Get yourself a little cup and take some water out of Ray's Creek. Just, something to take home.
I don't know that they want people doing that.
If you get close enough where, say Tiger hits a shot, you go grab his divot.
Steal things.
Take that piece.
You can't run onto the fairway and pick up the divot.
Well, a lot of times it's right by the ropes, and that divot will go left into the, if he's in the rough, they don't replace the divot in the rough. So if he hits a divot in the rough, go grab that piece of turf, take it home.
I think they would frown on that as well.
If you don't get caught. You're just asking. He's asking for advice. Other than what are you going to do? Watch golf. There's nothing else to do.
Steal their flowers and steal
and
the
their
divots.
turf. Yeah, whatever you can.
And get a pimento cheese sandwich.
Yeah. And get some memorabilia. Go in the shop and get yourself a hat or a shirt or.
I've heard it's not
pin
terribly
flag.
expensive.
No, they don't gouge you like other places.
The ticket is, of course, but the concessions and the merchandise isn't outrageously expensive. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean a pimento sandwich I think is $1.50.
Yeah.
How many times have you been down there?
I've been to 2 practice rounds.
Nice.
For fairways and greens? Or was that Kegler's Corner?
No. We couldn't get in. Fairways and greens, we couldn't get down. They wouldn't give us a credential.
Yeah.
We weren't big enough.
This man has no self-awareness. And also, some guy took sand from a bunker and literally went to jail. Stay hot, Strode. That's from Tervis Parish.
You don't want to wind up in prison for stolen azalea.
Wait, that's actually petty as all hell from the...
Well, you're on the course. I mean...
Well, also, they don't use sand. It's like this granulated quartz. That's how it looks so white. Because
granulated quartz?
Yeah. Like they fly it in from this place in South Carolina because it's so white and so like pure to play off of. It's not even sand. It's like some sort of quartz.
The MLS soccer fan of golf courses.
I think Normandy.
Too pretentious. Ooh, we
I don't follow you there.
granulated salt. We fly it in.
Right.
Come
we
on,
don't have fans. We have patrons.
It's acres of ground that you turn into a golf course. Stop acting like it's the Taj Mahal here, people. It's fun. It's probably a phenomenal course, but to take some grains of sand and to go full on and have the guy arrested is petty as all hell. Now, if you're taking players' clubs or actually stealing
Yeah.
You get that granulated sand flown in, a couple pieces drop within, transfer anyways. Let the fans have fun. This is why LIV Golf is becoming a little bit more better, so I'm sure they wouldn't arrest anyone for doing that.
Well, the thing that still
Doug,
gets me.
major story in Sports Illustrated regarding LIV Golf this morning. We'll deep tease
Oh,
that.
I did see that. Nice story.
We'll have that, plus Mike Francesa talking Ichiro. And what was the name of the gentleman who called into the program, Jackson? We texted him with this listening?
Fred from East Brunswick. Fred in East Brunswick.
Yeah, I got him going. That'll come up in the appliance discounters 8 o'clock hour. And then before we close out this Munganess 7 o'clock hour, we got a request for a recommendation. Morning, guys. Headed to South City for holiday. Anybody got a good recommendation for a car window replacement company? Thanks. Guys, do you hear me? I said I've been texting with Katie Kush. Tim, I said I've been texting with her. Did you hear me? That's who just texted.
I did mention that a couple times.
Yeah, you tried to get that in there.
I wanted to hear it. I kind of stepped on it. My bad.
Would you like to tell the story?
No, I forgot what I was talking to you for.
We'll close out the Munganess 7 o'clock hour here at 8:33. Appliance discounters, 8 o'clock hour coming up next. Send your emails in for the Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email today. We'll have a thorough Cardinal discussion with Derek Gould, a long-form conversation coming up on Balloon Party on 101 ESPN at 10 o'clock. This is the Ryan Kelly Morning After from the Michelob Ultra Studios.
Want a $50 gift card to Brush Creek Valley Farms? Just go to the TMA app or TMASTL.com and enter the mobile contest to get you some meat. And if you want to buy some meat, use the discount code TMA10 for 10% off box orders or TMA5 for 5% off bulk orders. Get the best locally sourced meats out of Cuba, Missouri at BrushCreekValley.com and go win a gift card to buy some meats at TMASTL.com. You're hearing TMA all day on KPNT HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis, featuring the Ryan Kelly Morning After, live from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Then a full show replay from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., followed by the best of TMA from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m., and another same-day replay starting at 10 p.m. Find the full schedule at TMASTL.com. Brought to you by Ryan Kelly at thehomeloanexpert.com, the most efficient mortgage process you'll ever experience. Urban Dictionary defines thirsty as purposely, knowingly, and recklessly attempting to gain fame to boost self-esteem. So, are you thirsty? Well, TMA has you covered. Become a part of the 2023 TMA Listener of the Month Club. You nominate yourself for a monthly award. And if you win, you get recognition and stuff to help you satisfy that insatiable thirst. We're talking January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, etc. Go to TMASTL.com or the TMA app. Give us your name, a photo, and other pertinent information. Tell us why you deserve to be TMA Listener of the Month. And if you don't want to use your real name or photo, we don't really care. The TMA Listener of the Month. Get recognized just for being you, or fake you, or whatever. Quenched by Milagro Tequila. Welcome to the brighter side of tequila with Milagro in the morning after on KPNT HD2. Listen on the TMA app or at TMASTL.com to win a 4-pack of tickets to All Elite Wrestling, returning to the Chaffetz Arena this Wednesday. Don't miss AEW World Champion MJF, plus Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, John Moxley, and more. Let's recap. Get the TMA app, sign in, listen, win. Learn more at TMASTL.com. The Tim McKernan Show podcast, featuring long-form interviews with people from the world of sports, politics, and entertainment.
And our guest today, Bill McClellan. Thanks so much for coming in.
Hey, my pleasure, Tim.
What's up, Caden?
Hi, how are you?
Joe Buck, our guest today.
And it's like I haven't seen you in years.
More than 500 episodes and counting, and it's available wherever you get your podcasts, including the TMA STL app. Get the app now at TMASTL.com.
Biggie's Restaurant and Bar has been a staple of the community for over 30 years and is serving your favorites like the steak sandwich, waffle fries, and so much more. It's not just the food that's rocking. With a full bar and patio, Biggie's is the perfect spot for lunch, dinner, and a little laughter. Biggie's original hours are back. Open 11 a.m. till midnight, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And 11 a.m. till 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Check out the full menu at biggiesrestaurant.com and stop in today.
I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. Everyone always asks me, hey Ryan, how are you the preferred lender to so many of the area's top builders and real estate agents? It's simple. Because I have lower rates, I know how to get complicated deals done, and with my 10-day closing guarantee, I'll have you in the home of your dreams by the end of the month. Are you thinking about buying a house? You probably have a lot of questions, and I would love the opportunity to answer them all. Let's talk today. It all starts now at thehomeloanexpert.com. NMLS number 1326241.
Okay.
Hot takes.
Yeah.
Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini.
And now the Pepperoncini Show with Darren Atkins and Ken Stroh. All right, take it, fellas.
There it is. That's the open.
Pepperoncini.
Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini.
We don't know what it is. We don't understand the name. We just know it's stupid. And it's available every weekday, featuring Iggy and the Plowboy. Apparently it's some kind of a podcast or something. Available at tmastl.com and on the TMASTL mobile app. Whatever.
Hey, it's Jackson for Rosalita's. TMA listeners know that's always a great time to gather at Rosalita's. Why not start off with a happy hour Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m.? Enjoy happy hour specials including $3 off of appetizers like the wildly popular carne con cerveza, marinated steak cooked to order and served on a sizzling skillet. The patio is heated and covered, plus Rosalita's offers live music on Thursdays and mariachi every weekend. Check out rosalitascantina.com or visit the downtown or DePere location today. Time to get your fiesta on at Rosalita's.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan of TMA, and we are thrilled to have another new sponsor on board the show. A couple of guys I have gotten to know. Longo Biggs, Injury Law, Doug Biggs, and C.D. Longo here with me. And C.D., one of the things that I want our audience to know is this. When people get injured in an accident, they don't necessarily know what to do, and that's where you guys come into play.
Yeah, Tim, it can be a very confusing process. If you get hurt in a car accident or injured some other way, people do not know what to do. They don't even know how to start a claim. We're going to take the hassle out of your hands and make the entire process very easy. Injury cases are potentially worth a lot of money. We're going to make sure you get every dollar you deserve. We're very excited to be part of the TMA family. We're hoping to have a lot of fun with this. If you or a loved one do get injured, please remember us at Longo Biggs Injury Law. You can visit our website at longobiggs.com, and that is Biggs with 2 G's.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey, if you like the morning after, check out Balloon Party on 101 ESPN. HD1, by the way. It's sports talk with Tim McKernan and Action Jackson from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. each weekday, right after the morning after. It's the worst named show in the history of radio, but the content's pretty good, so check it out on 101 ESPN or get the podcast on the TMA app.
The Ryan Kelly Morning After.
KPN-TFM, HD2.
Collinsville, St. Louis.
Well, Doug, Tim is maybe in the Wizards room.
Oh, you think so?
We have aux off, so I didn't know if...
Okay.
So, just
Are we on now? We started the show not being on.
We had 40 seconds of off, but we're good. It's very nice.
Ween coming to St. Louis.
When are they coming?
I don't know, August, I think.
You gonna go?
Hell no.
You'll be at the Cure concert.
What am I going to do, sit there and listen to
this?
Fluffy, Fluffy, my dog on a porch.
Do they really play that kind of song in concert?
I don't know. That's their music.
I thought that was just kind of a gag, kind of a throwaway
What do you
gag.
think this is, Boys Club? Boys Club.
So it's one song after the next? It's just kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing?
I don't know. I don't even know what genre of music they play.
They're all, they have a country album. They're good. Again, still missing Tim.
Would this be alternative music? This qualifies
I don't
alternative.
think so.
What do you have to be alternative? How do you define alternative music?
I really don't know. I've always thought alternative music is a lot of hard guitar, but not a lot of solo guitar. A lot of heavy rhythm and loud drums.
That's alternative.
That's how I mean, that's not the definition, but that's how the songs I listen to alternative. There's a lot of, hard rhythm guitar, a lot of chords, loud, but not a lot of
Sounds
guitar
like heavy
solos.
metal.
No, not really.
Doing heavy charitable work. Our boy, Doug. Since we're waiting for Tim, I figured Ryan Kelly is on hold. We haven't heard from Ryan in a while.
Love to hear from him.
Longest running sponsor. So we'll go to him. I know he liked talking to Tim, but Ryan, you are on the line. What's up, buddy?
Where y'all been?
Well, we're right here. Tim is.
I've been looking everywhere. I'm turning the dial, trying to find you. Here you are.
I love.
We're on HD2 now. It's been a year and a quarter.
That's that fancy stuff right there.
Yeah.
You start talking those letters like HD2, you're losing me.
We're walking in tall cotton now.
I don't know what that one means, but okay. Doug, what are you most excited about Cardinals baseball this year?
I'm excited to see what Jordan Walker can do.
That's the right answer.
And Nolan Gorman both. I think they might both. I think Gorman's going to break out and have a big year. And I hope Walker does as well.
I hope you're right.
I think Walker will as well.
You going to the home opener as a fan, or are you going with lady journalism?
Neither. I'm going to the Hubbard party at Ballpark Village tomorrow, but I don't have a ticket or a credential. So
treat for that, though. I mean, the parties. I learned that, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago, started advertising with the Cardinals, putting our spots in the games, all that, and got invited to some parties the day of home opener. And I never knew my whole life how big of a deal that was. Are you going to this party or to the Fox party or the Charter party? Like, it's a big deal. Like, what party are you going to? It's like the Oscars, but instead of, I think, post parties, they're all pre-game parties. And
yeah, it's fun.
They sure are fun.
Yeah, they sure are. You going this year or no? You going to be able to make it?
Possibly. I'm here at 1600 South Brentwood Boulevard right now doing some stuff, and we're going to see. I won't be able to get to the parties. I don't know if you've heard, but mortgage rates really dropped in the last few weeks, and hallelujah! Oh. The consumers are happy about that, and so am I. So,
nice. What is the 30-year fixed right now, kind sir?
Oh, there's my friend. Hi, Tim.
Yeah, I was inside with the tykes, and the tykes held me up. I apologize.
That's okay. 30-year fixed mortgages, I mean, we're trending really close to getting into the fives on those on a conventional loan.
Really? Wow.
Here's the deal. Mortgage rates, live update right now. 15-year fixed mortgage, definitely deep down in the fives. FHA, VA, down in the fives. Adjustable rates, down in the fives. Now, that conforming 30-year fix, that people think about is getting pretty close to being down in the fives. So rates have really come down over the last couple of weeks, and that means that we are getting super busy, and I'm down with that for sure. Like, ready to get some loans to the machine, get some people into some beautiful homes, refinance, pull out the cash, pay off all those credit cards, while their home's still worth a ton. So I'm not sure if I'll be at the game or not. It's going to have to be a game day decision, pun intended. But let's just see, because I mean it when I tell you, we haven't seen those applications come in like this in a while. People are trying to lock in. They're not sure
awesome.
Where rates will be. Yeah, it's about time. Unfortunately for the banks, and I mean that, but bad news for the banks is good news for mortgage rates. And I won't bore you with all the reasons why, but bad news for banks is good news for mortgage rates. And we'll leave it there. If you've been kind of on the fence or thinking about buying a home, but you saw those rates were in 7 land, like in the 7s, and you're just like, payment's crazy, never, no way. Well, you did a good thing by waiting, because now we can lock you in significantly lower. That's going to be a lower payment. That's going to be easier to qualify. If you've been thinking about that refinance, maybe the credit cards have been piling up, maybe you want to pay off some debt, whatever it is, your home is still worth a ton. I know the headlines say that home values and prices are coming down, but they're still high. That means you have a lot of equity. And now with rates coming down, let's look at that cash out refinance. We're here to work up options for you. We'll work up 2 options, 20 options, whatever you want. We'll look at every single loan program. We have a 10-day closing guarantee. I mean, you're in great hands, and we're standing by. And I hope that I can't make it to the Cardinal game tomorrow because I'm just too busy talking to clients and working up pre-approvals. I'm going to leave it there. Y'all know the website, thehomeloanexpert.com. Tim, it was really good to talk to you. Hey, other guys, it was good to talk to you, too. And, we'll see y'all soon.
Yeah,
Love you
nice.
all.
That's the way.
Happy
Good.
Thanks, Rye.
All right, Rye. It kind of felt like the rest of us got the brush off.
That's the way that people should address people on the show.
And Tim wasn't on for half the interview, and he got all the praise.
Tim, it was great talking to you. The other guys, okay.
Yep. Yeah. It was like a live Dan Caesar column right there. That's what that was. Welcome back. It's the Appliance Discounters 8 o'clock hour here on the program. Appliance Discounters, hello, friends. If you're in the market for an appliance, look no further than Appliance Discounters. That's John and Denise Bradley and their staff. Their 80,000 square foot warehouse full of GE appliances and other major brands ready for delivery. Shop online at theappliancediscounters.com, where pricing has been adjusted to beat the competition. Doug is a range collector, kind of some people antique. They collect baseball cards. Mm-hmm. You've been collecting ranges.
Yeah, I must have 40 or 50 stoves in my house now.
I collect dishwashers, and I got mine at Appliance Discounters. They're online at theappliancediscounters.com. 5 St. Louis area locations to serve you. It's theappliancediscounters.com, sponsor of our 8 o'clock hour. Looking for a place to enjoy a libation tomorrow? How do you do? Maggie O'Brien's, downtown St. Louis and Sunset Hills. You know about it being a hotbed of activity before a Dogs game, but don't forget, you can still hang out at Maggie O'Brien's before a Cardinal game. Take the shuttle there and enjoy the festivities at the all-new, renovated Maggie O'Brien's in downtown St. Louis. It's been around for 4 decades. It's a local Irish pub with the great Eddie McVeigh, who you know is going to take great care of you. It's Eddie McVeigh, Maggie O'Brien's, with locations on Market Street in downtown St. Louis and in Sunset Hills, where we will be having our pre-party for the Dotem coming up in May. Maggie O'Brien's, a wonderful sponsor of the Ryan Kelly Morning After. We got a TMA app contest going on. You can win a $50 gift card to Brush Creek Valley Farms, a subscription meat box program. So go to the TMA STL app and enter to win a $50 gift card to Brush Creek Valley Farms. If you're planning on going to the Dogs game this Saturday, and Doug, is this against Minneapolis FC United?
I don't care for that, but I think that's the name of it, isn't it?
Minnesota
Jackson,
United.
is that right?
Minnesota United FC.
Oh, that's even worse. What's with the United? What do you mean they're united?
The Twin Cities are united, all for soccer.
Yeah, it's Manchester United. They all steal from
why
that.
United? Other teams aren't
Well, either
united?
way. You can get your Dogs merch to show your support against United FC by going to tmastlshop.com. The great Mike Flanagan will ship it to you. 10% off everything right now at tmastlshop.com. That is where you can get your Dogs and TMA merch. Mr. Lick's not happy that we don't have a Holderness and Bourne TMA golf shirt, but Iggy, we ran the numbers, and I just don't think it's. I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze. Like $120 golf shirt. I just don't know how many people would really buy those.
No.
You know, but I'm gonna have to buy them, and then I take on risk, and then the margin is not worth that risk. That's my assessment, Doug. That's what we said at our board meeting last night.
All right.
No, people aren't going to spend $125 on a TMA golf shirt.
Not this audience, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
HD1 listeners would.
Oh, absolutely they would. Yeah, they'd pay $220.
More disposable income. Yeah, absolutely. Plowhawk, here's your LIV Golf column.
Yeah.
LIV Golf is in the middle of its second season, but has not yet made it to its first anniversary. This comes from SI.com. The upstart spent hundreds of millions of dollars during the first season while recruiting players, signing venues, and running tournaments, and at the same time suing the PGA Tour for antitrust violations while trying to figure out what it wanted to be once established. The latter is a work in progress, and the limited success of the first season has created an eagerness to grow exponentially while still trying to figure out the best path forward. One of the bigger issues of 2022 was large expenditures that were either necessary but not approved, or unnecessary and then unaccounted for. Supposedly to the tune of $180 million. Doug, that takes us back to about 2021 in AM Sports Talk Radio when there were unaccounted for expenses that were later just dismissed as an accident. As a result, LIV's benefactor, the Saudi Private Investment Fund, forced out certain executives during the offseason, including LIV Golf Managing Director, do you pronounce it Majid Al-Saror?
That's how I've always said it, yeah.
And Chief Operating Officer, do you pronounce it Atul Kasala?
I would, yeah.
Okay, well, they're out. They're gone.
Well, they should be.
The PIF, Private Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia, is now more involved in the day-to-day operations of LIV Golf, which is still a work in progress and showing growing pains as it hopes to mature into a full-fledged alternative to the PGA Tour. The issues are varied, and many were discussed during the week of the LIV event in Tucson. Here's a summary of multiple conversations Sports Illustrated had with 8 LIV sources and current players. One thing, when LIV Golf officials started to discuss signing players in 2021 and 2022, they were unsure of how many events they would host in the first season. The discussion was focused on 6 are 8 events in Season 1, expanding Season 2 to 10 events with the potential for Season 3 to have a maximum of 14 events. The number was never assured except for the floor in the second year of 10 and ceiling of 14. The number 10 came from players hesitant to sign because no floor was set, and anything less than 10 would have been unacceptable. 14 was part of the 14 was part of the conversation, and Brooks Koepka had been mentioned as one of the players' concerns about how 10 to 14 provision is being interpreted. But in discussions with the 4-time major winner, he steadfast eyes, says he is comfortable with how LIV's progressing and is not unhappy with any of the contractual provisions of his agreement. He says, I'm fine, I'm satisfied, I'm content with every decision I've made, Koepka said. And when asked about any fine print in the agreement between himself and LIV, Koepka was equally content. I know everything I was getting into. Currently, Martin Keimer and Hudson Swafford are not playing due to injury. Keimer will likely return at some point this season, but Swafford is out for the year. The contracts provide for absence due to injury, with neither player having to pay back any of their signing bonus. How great is that? They're also determining where the team money will go. Players have expressed some concern about the payments going to the team since LIV already owns 75% of the teams, and they feel they may be getting shortchanged. According to sources, the payments to individual players was never part of the business plan. Then there is talk of what it costs to break a contract. LIV Golf maintains that some of its players still want to play on the PGA Tour, but with the exception of playing a one-off event in a player's hometown or somewhere they have had some success, many LIV players seem content to play their 14-plus majors and call it a season. None want to play a full season on the PGA Tour because that is good, because LIV contracts, while not prohibiting them from playing a full schedule on another tour, does force them to honor the commitment to LIV. And if for some reason they wanted to leave LIV, the penalty clause is 2, 3, or 4 times their signing bonus to leave. How about that? So if you got one of those monster signing bonuses, you might have to pay twice as much to leave. The penalty clause keeps the players part of LIV stable until their contract expires after 2025. The 2023 season's set, but 2024 could see an expansion of teams from 12 to 15. So that would mean they would be adding 3 more teams of 4 players, so 12 more players. So there are some of the issues and updates on LIV Golf. Plowhawk, you're a big LIV Golf guy. What do you think?
I mean, it sounds like growing pains are an accurate way to describe that. I think it's always a battle to compete against a monopoly in the PGA Tour. I would be shocked if there were people inside of LIV and fans that would think this was going to be seamless and make a ton of money in, 18 months, the first 18 months. I don't see that as...
You about to sneeze? Oh. Okay. Oh, here comes another one.
So yeah, I love the form. I don't like the team format aspect of it. I wish they would change a little bit of it, but they're going to be growing pains, and I'm sure the PGA fans absolutely love this. But that doesn't mean this is the end of LIV. You got to work through the kinks of things.
Yeah. How are we supposed to be excited about the teams?
That's
the worst part of it all.
It's dumb.
So bad.
The names are dumb. They're like, it's cheesy. It's corny. I don't like it. So that's one portion I don't understand. The
teams don't even matter. Like it's so silly. And all these guys now have to get rid of their sponsors because unless a sponsor sponsors the entire team, then they can't have a singular sponsor. They're just letting these contracts go out. So all these guys are just going to be like, they'll be in the Masters wearing their Crushers and Aces outfits. It's so weird.
It makes no sense.
Well, if they win, they get $750,000 apiece. As a Pat Perez made most of his money last week for being on Dustin Johnson's team.
With regards to sponsors, the Sports Illustrated article says teams are starting to ramp up staff and starting to sell sponsorships, but the process of staffing, which requires LIV involvement, is slower than some would like to see and is one of the growing pains that the new tour is experiencing. LIV officials have been complaining to teams that they are not doing enough to generate revenue. Doug, this takes you back to a meeting in which people who were brokering time were scolded by management.
You better pick it up. Well, wait a minute, we're paying to be on the station.
Yeah, it sounds like management getting too much in the way of things and not letting it organically grow, and they're just blaming other people for it. I don't know if
one team of the 12 has a sponsor. That team, of course, the Fireballs. They're captained by Sergio Garcia. They have a sponsor. The sponsor is Akron. It's a Mexico-based oil company. The other 11 are still working on potential sponsors. According to those involved in the sales process, the Saudi involvement in the league is no longer the potential impediment as it potentially was in the past. Instead, potential sponsors come in two categories: companies that are involved with the PGA Tour and have no interest in working with LIV, and current or former sponsors of the PGA Tour that have become disillusioned with the tour and are looking for alternatives. Most teams are in active negotiations with companies and believe agreements will be inked soon. At the same time, attendance at LIV events is showing promise, with the second round of the Tucson event sold out, and all 3 days of general admission tickets at LIV Adelaide sold out at $14,000 a day, and the wait list implemented. Add in 7,500 hospitality tickets sold, and LIV believes that a total of 60,000 will be on the grounds in Australia next month. That article coming from SI.com.
So the Saudi connection, they don't believe is the problem with sponsors. I was wondering if they get teams to be sponsored by Al-Qaeda and Hamas and all kinds of terrorist organizations.
Do you think they'd accept that money, Doug?
Well, the Saudis might.
No, they wouldn't.
We're tweeting on iPhones. We're filling up with Saudi oil. We're wearing clothes that have Saudi-backed money. We're we need to stop. Like, stop getting on your high horse thinking you're above everything.
You're high camel.
It's embarrassing to bring up 9/11, to bring up terrorism. Dude, everything is backed by China and Saudi Arabia, and if you want to be woke, but you got to follow through the whole thing. You can't just blame one organization for being a terrorist organization and then, buying the brand new iPhone when it's made. I hate that aspect of the argument with, anti-lib people. That's just dumb.
Tervis Parrish is one of those people, Plowhawk, and he says, and Doug, he put in parentheses, slight chuckle. Do you like that?
Yeah, I don't mind it.
He says, you folks remember when the LIV guys said the PGA Tour was too restrictive and they wanted to be independent contractors. Now they're being held hostage by the most ruthless government in the world. That's from Tervis Parrish.
Well, they signed contracts. So, I think the out is, 2 or 3 times what they signed? But that has to be in their contract, or it's just, legally, these guys have lawyers. So if they sign that, they sign that. If all this is in fine print and they didn't know that, then that's on them and their, people that they surround themselves with. I'm sorry, I know it sounds ruthless, but if all this was in writing and they signed the contract just for the money, then you got to follow the protocol. You can't just, get all your panties in a bunch and want to leave and expect to keep the money that they gave you. That's insane.
Yeah, they signed for multiple millions, life-changing money.
$150 million? You think you can just walk away and keep that money? You're a moron. So people need to stop.
Right, but how are people going to I'm just looking at if I'm going to watch the product, why would I watch something where the guys have no incentive to play any better? They already made all their money.
Oh, I think the
PGA Tour is like that,
too. If they really wanted to win, wouldn't they play every week on the PGA Tour and have the upside? And
I suppose you could say that for a lot of sports. The NBA guys are all rich. They're still playing.
Yeah, sure, but they're chasing a team championship, and there's personal legacy pride on this. Winning a LIV event doesn't give you any legacy pride.
Well, I guess it would if that's where you're playing.
It gives you another $4 million.
Right, but if you signed, if you're a Phil or a DJ or Brooks and you signed for all this money.
Well, there's a few of those guys, but for the most part, those guys out there would love to win $4 million. I'm sure Dustin's not going to say he's not going to choke over $4 million, but,
and they're still competitive athletes. They still want to win. Every time they go out, I'm sure they want to win.
And I got me a take, and not many people are going to like it.
Do I need the oven mitts?
Clip that off. Clip that off.
You may need a dual oven mitts.
Let me go get the oven mitts.
Okay. Because this is important to talk about quality of play and what you're watching with, the LIV players and their world rankings and what the PGA Tour and their product. I know the majors haven't started. I know the season's picking up now with Augusta around the corner. You're going to see big names.
Yeah.
The PGA Tour event this year and the top 10 leaderboards have been kind of blasé. And people can try to defend it. Yeah. You've had Rory McIlroy missing cuts. You've had Will Zalatoris missing cuts. You had Scotty Scheffler. But for the most part, you kind of got a lot of Taylor Moores and guys that are up there for the first time, which is fine.
So what's the hot take?
But people bashing the LIV product in terms of the amount of high-quality players that are in there, if you look at the PGA Tour leaderboard scattered throughout this year, there isn't that high-powered. There's one or two, but it's not like it's a the Open Championship or anything of those types of leaderboards. I know they're
Non-elevated-
taking days off and weeks off before big events. I get that.
Non-elevated events, I agree with you. Elevated events, I disagree with you.
I'm not saying all the events, but if you look at some of the events
What was
this
the hot
year,
take that I
it's-
needed the events for?
The two winners on LIV this year are
That's it.
Danny Lee and Charles Howell.
that PGA Tour is, not as great as LIV as it used to be, and they're going to slowly pick off players.
Okay.
Especially when guys drop out of the
John
top
Rahm
30.
won the Century Tournament of Champions. The American Express was won by John Rahm. Max Homa won the Farmers. Justin Rose won Pebble Beach. Scotty Scheffler won the Waste Management. John Rahm won the Genesis.
I said the top leaderboard. I didn't mean the winners.
Scotty Scheffler won the Players.
Yeah, no.
So what do you
there's
mean?
one or two top players.
You're talking about like a leaderboard?
Yeah, I'm just talking about the overall top 10, top 15. Obviously, the winners are. They have bigger names. They've also been around 100 some odd years.
You don't like the leaderboards in general.
I just think people saying PGA has a superior elite level competition.
Well, they do.
Maybe
They
just
objectively
because
do.
Not as much as people think, though. I don't think so.
Well, and they have young up-and-comers that are great golfers compared to LIV, which is mainly just a bunch of washed-up guys in their 30s. LIV as Taylor Montgomery. You have
Golfers
Cam
are
Young.
washed up in their 30s?
I know, right? Like, dude,
They're not
still
winning anything. I mean, you going out there to watch Kevin Na play?
Why is Kevin
Well, I
Na
don't know about
getting
him
dragged?
specifically, but I don't think
I
golfers
like the
That's
guy.
what
He's a
most
nice
of that
guy,
tour.
right?
That's what most of that tour is.
I mean,
He doesn't like him walking in his putts.
dude, that's kind of funny. The Tiger video with him and Tiger, that's kind of legendary.
No, but I'm talking about quality of name recognition.
Yeah, but this is their second season. Like, if everybody expected the top 10 in the world to jump ship, but this is a lot better player than I anticipated them having in year 2.
They got what they're going to get. They're not.
Oh, I
don't think
disagree
they're
with
set.
that.
You think more people are going to go over there after what they've seen?
No, I don't.
Well,
I
you
don't
haven't
think
had
these
one
guys
player
are-
speak out about this. Like, you're talking anonymous sources, and like, there's really no names that are directly attached to the complaints. And to me, that maybe they want to be sealed. I get it, but I don't have any concrete proof that there are people being held hostage on LIV events. They seem to be having a damn good time and raking in a ton of cash. And I mean, Thomas Peters was just on Foreplay Podcast raving about LIV and being honest about why he went there for the money, that the money is fantastic. You have players coming out as absolutely positive. There's no player to come out as negative. You just have anonymous sources, and now we're attaching this as everybody's like being held hostage in this league. And it's just all made up. Like, there's no actual facts because anonymous sources can be, a pigeon in the sky. You don't really have to have any names attached
Pigeon in
to
the
it
sky.
to
I
make
like that.
a story.
Maybe bring back Pepper and Jeannie as Linda and Linda, which will focus on Plowsy and Pawpaw discussing international affairs and finance. Doug, that's from Arbor Day. That was a Hall of Fame bad take. The big name players of LIV haven't even been relevant in their hit and giggles. The LIV leaderboards have been significantly worse. Of the 18 LIV players qualified for the Masters, they've combined for 5 top 10s and 36 combined starts for LIV. Don't say these guys have lost their competitive edge, folks. That's from Tervis Parrish. The fact that Daryl listens to Foreplay explains everything.
No, I did. I
it's
follow
Tervis
them. I
Parrish.
follow on Twitter, so I didn't like. They just give about 4-minute excerpts. If I'm correct, Jackson, they release portions of their podcast or the video elements of their podcast.
Is that Barstool?
Yeah,
Like Riggs and them?
Yeah, I think it was Rappaport who did the interview, their new edition, who I actually really enjoy.
Yeah, but like Bryson DeChambeau has finished like almost dead last. Like these guys who have been like their big heavy hitters haven't played well at all, and I don't know what you can blame it on, but like you have to think part of that is the fact that they no longer have to hustle to make the big money anymore.
Mr. Lick says, keep Kevin Na's name out your damn mouth.
Yeah, right. Why is he getting dragged? Drag Sergio if you want, but not Kevin.
Well, him
Na.
too. He's washed up too. I mean,
Oh, come on.
His name out your damn mouth.
Yeah, Sergio is kind of wild.
I mean, they're middle of the pack guys who are pop up and win an event every 5 years on the PGA Tour.
No, Cam Smith, DJ, DeChambeau.
I didn't say all of them. I'm
Joaquin
saying you can take the
Niemann,
top
Pereira.
6 or
There's-
7, then there's 40 guys that nobody cares about.
I would say it's very top heavy, but in year 2 to have well, I don't know how World Golf Rankings work anymore with LIV player, but Cam Smith was number 2 player in the world when he left. I don't know if he's in the. I think he's still in the
top 10, but he's their only top 10 player.
Who thought they would get a number 2 player in the world the first year? Like, that's what I'm saying. Now, maybe they don't have a bunch jumping ship as quickly as they did last year, but I don't think these anonymous sources are really going to deter people, especially when those prize pools with lesser competition may be better.
Well, what they did for this year and next year is the reason nobody's going to leave anymore. You have no-cut events with 70 players. You have elevated events with $4 million first prizes and $20 million purses. That's what LIV has. So there's no reason for any of these players to jump. Why do I want to go to LIV and play when I can play in these elevated events and make the same amount of money? And these no-cut events where there's only 70 of the best players in the world playing, I don't have to play 25. You know, they're basically going to have the same schedule as LIV.
That's assuming they do make the same amount of money. You're assuming they do.
Correct.
And it's not guaranteed. They got to play well.
And they play 20 less events. You're talking 14 events for LIV, and you probably, to make that money, to get yourself in the top 7, you got to play 25, 30 events.
If somebody says, here's 70 million, 80, 100 million guaranteed, that's hard for anybody to say, no, thank you.
Yeah, I still think there's advantages.
Or he said no. Tiger, they offered Tiger almost a $1 billion.
He's already a billionaire. He doesn't need it. But not all these guys have Tiger Woods money.
Will Zalatoris in 3 years, he may have integrity. If he got offered $130 million and turned it down, and his career kind of teetering where it is right now, that's one of the biggest regrets he'll have. He will never admit it, probably, but there are going to be guys like that are going to, look at it and go, oh, I don't want to put my name on that, and you just turn down $130 million. There are going to be players that look at that and go, I don't want to, make 80% less than what I was offered. I do this for the money, not just for the trophies and for the gratitude. So I think you're going to see a lot of players look at that.
The best thing about watching on delay on YouTube is seeing Plowsy getting crushed for a scorching hot take in the comments while you're an hour behind still hearing about the greatness of Pepper and Genie, Greg off not being able to push a button to start the show. Never change, boys. That's from the 314.
It's our little show. It's how we do it.
It has to be done that way.
It's easy to do it by the book. Turn the buttons on so you're actually on the air. Everyone else does it that way.
And I love it because it's actually is just one button. It's not an exaggeration where there's a pot. It's literally just this button to my right. I think that take went bad enough to where it gets everybody riled up. Again, you need them to hate somebody. I'm falling on the sword today.
Well, thank you, Plowsy.
What a gentleman. That's the Plowhawk. And Doug, you and I are excited about the work that Green Envy is doing in St. Louis. People want to get their lawns looking dense and thick like a shrub. Well, that's where Green Envy comes into play, and they have come by and they have treated they've treated mine, and they're about to treat yours. Is that correct?
No, they were there yesterday at my house.
Nice.
Yeah, they treated it already. Yeah, I can't wait. I want my neighbors green with envy because of how green my grass is. And that's what they can do at Green Envy. These guys are really pros. They're service professionals, commercially licensed applicators, are certified by the Missouri Department of Agriculture. So you got a trained professional out there treating your property. Right now, they're going after that crabgrass. It's been so wet that crabgrass is really going to be a problem. But they've got a special crabgrass preventer. It's a trade secret. And that's how they keep that weed from taking over their lawn. And they say if they come out and treat your yard for crabgrass and then the weeds come back up, they'll come back out at no charge, do another treatment laying down to make sure that you get rid of that crabgrass, because that can just destroy your yard. But it won't destroy mine, and it won't destroy yours, Tim, because Green Envy has already been out there. And I couldn't be any happier.
And they treat it nice.
Yeah.
The people have asked us how we get our lawns treated, what company we work with. Well, here you go. Green Envy. New sponsor on TMA. Great to have them on board. Great to have them treating our lawn. It makes a world of difference when you do get it done. It really does. I had no idea how big of a difference it matters to not have that random grass growing all over the yard and then also have your lawn growing thick. 636-757-1600. That is the number for Green Envy. Jeremy Rutherford is going to join us coming up in the next segment. It's presented by Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies. Your two-part questions, 314-881-TMA5. This is the Ryan Kelly Morning After from the Michelob Ultra Studio.
Biggie's Restaurant and Bar has been a staple of the community for over 30 years and is serving your favorites like the steak sandwich, waffle fries, and so much more. It's not just the food that's rocking. With a full bar and patio, Biggie's is the perfect spot for lunch, dinner, and a little laughter. Biggie's original hours are back. Open 11 a.m. till midnight, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And 11 a.m. till 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Check out the full menu at biggiesrestaurant.com and stop in today.
Okay. Hot takes.
Yeah.
Pepperoncini.
And now the Pepperoncini Show with Darren Atkins and Ken Stroh. All right, take it, fellas.
There it is. That's the open.
Pepperoncini.
We don't know what it is. We don't understand the name. We just know it's stupid. And it's available every weekday, featuring Iggy and the Plowboy. Apparently it's some kind of a podcast or something. Available at tmastl.com and on the TMASTL mobile app. Whatever.
TMA knows how our walrus audience loves their meats. That's why we have teamed up with a local company that delivers high-quality, great-tasting meats straight to your door. Brush Creek Valley Farms is a direct-to-consumer family farm that raises, processes, and delivers pork and beef nationwide at cost-friendly prices. Go to brushcreekvalley.com to choose between their various box options. Build your own box or buy in bulk to have a great-tasting local beef and pork at all times. Brush Creek Valley Farms is offering 10% off any box by using the promo code TMA10 or 5% off any bulk order when you use TMA5. On top of that, if you subscribe to their monthly service, you'll receive an additional 10% off each order you make. Again, that's TMA10 for any box order, TMA5 for bulk orders, and an automatic 10% off when you subscribe. Go to brushcreekvalley.com to learn more about how you can get their meats in your mouth and support a local family farm. That's brushcreekvalley.com, high-quality meats for a lowbrow audience.
Doug Vaughn here alongside Ryan Kelly, the home loan expert. Ryan, I know the market is cooling right now. Is it still a good time to buy a house? Rates up? It's a mess out there, isn't it?
Yeah, right? I mean, think about it. Think about where we were a year ago. You know, we saw the headlines, and if you were one of those trying to buy a house a year ago, you know darn well it was tough. You know, a listing would come on the market, and 20, 30, 40 offers would come above asking price, and it was a very difficult environment to navigate through. Now look at today. Homes are coming on the market, price decrease. Then an offer comes in and it's well below list, and people are buying these houses a lot less expensive than they would have a year ago. So yes, mortgage rates are a little bit higher, but the savings you get on the sale price should more than make up for that. And then at thehomeloanexpert.com, we will refinance your loan with no fees when rates do go back down. So you get in there now and you marry the house and just date the rate until we can refinance you at no cost. Learn more today at thehomeloanexpert.com.
Driving the ball 300 yards is cool and impresses your buddies, but scoring amounts to getting the ball in the hole. Thus, the best way to lower your scores is to improve your short game. If you want a golf green that putts true and gives you real grass performance when practicing chips, pitches, and bunker shots, the only company to call is Clubhouse Turf, St. Louis's exclusive partner of Celebrity Greens. Each Clubhouse Turf signature green is unique in design and can create your own backyard golf experience that your family and friends will enjoy for years to come. Call Clubhouse Turf today at 314-802-6229. Or visit them online at clubhouseturf.com.
Hey, it's Jackson for Rosalita's. TMA listeners know that's always a great time to gather at Rosalita's. Why not start off with a happy hour Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m.? Enjoy happy hour specials including $3 off of appetizers like the wildly popular carne con cerveza, marinated steak cooked to order and served on a sizzling skillet. The patio is heated and covered, plus Rosalita's offers live music on Thursdays and mariachi every weekend. Check out rosalitascantina.com or visit the downtown or DePere location today. Time to get your fiesta on at Rosalita's.
Urban Dictionary defines thirsty as purposely, knowingly, and recklessly attempting to gain fame to boost self-esteem. So, are you thirsty? Well, TMA has you covered. Become a part of the 2023 TMA Listener of the Month Club. You nominate yourself for a monthly award. And if you win, you get recognition and stuff to help you satisfy that insatiable thirst. We're talking January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, etc. Go to TMASTL.com or the TMA app. Give us your name, a photo, and other pertinent information. Tell us why you deserve to be TMA Listener of the Month. And if you don't want to use your real name or photo, we don't really care. The TMA Listener of the Month. Get recognized just for being you or fake you or whatever. Quenched by Milagro Tequila. Welcome to the brighter side of tequila with Milagro in the morning after on KPNT HD2. You're hearing TMA all day on KPNT HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis, featuring the Ryan Kelly Morning After, live from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Then a full show replay from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., followed by the best of TMA from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m., and another same-day replay starting at 10 p.m. Find the full schedule at TMASTL.com. Brought to you by Ryan Kelly at thehomeloanexpert.com, the most efficient mortgage process you'll ever experience. Now, back to the Ryan Kelly Morning After.
KPNT FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis.
So, Ox is off, Tim.
Yeah, but I bet the beat is sick.
Yeah, push the little daisies.
Yeah, Wayne, Wednesday, coming to St. Louis. Ryan Kelly Morning After. Hello, friends. Welcome to our 9 o'clock hour. Coming up in the 9 o'clock hour, we will have the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. Big opportunity here for Ghost Rider to the Stars to have a dangerous 2-goal lead. Buck Swope is 1 back. Hey, Barry, 2 back. Send yours in for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email today, the morning after at InsideSTL.com. Design Air is online at DesignAirService.com. The great Seth Goldcamp and his staff will take care of you. If you run into any issues with your heating and cooling, go to DesignAirService.com. You're chatting with somebody quick, fast, and in a hurry, and they will be out quick, fast, in a hurry. One of those service techs. Doug is a client, and I'm a client as well. And Doug, the forecast tomorrow, glorious. Sunny and in the high 60s. Perfect for opening day.
Yeah.
How do you do?
That is great. Yeah, I see a high of 66. That'd be just about perfect, wouldn't it?
No, that would be prime.
I think
And
I'm
temperatures next week.
I'll
in
wear
the
my
60s.
sundress.
Oh, Mark Hanna's going to
Mark
wear his
Hanna is in studio, and he is wearing his sundress to opening day.
What color is the sundress?
Oh, I've got a nice rainbow.
Is it?
Oh, Bill.
Red and green.
Strapless?
Is there any other kind?
Oh.
Thank you. Oh, his man breasts hold it up so nicely.
Okay.
Mark Hanna's in studio because Jeremy Rutherford is with us every Wednesday on the program, and Doug wanted to break down the win over the Canucks last night. Doug, here's your chance. Morning, JR.
Morning. Let's hear it, Doug.
Well, they had a real barn burner there. I know they came back and they won it in overtime. This Jacob Vrana, boy, he looks like a hell of a goal scorer. Yeah. 2 goals.
That was good.
No assists for him. Hulk had a goal and 2 assists. I'm not reading the box score or anything at this point. I'm just going off memory on a game I didn't watch.
Hey, Doug, stories are generally about 1,300 words, so you only have 1,100 more words to go.
Okay.
No, there you go.
Well, I know Jacob Vrana scored 2 goals, leading the St. Louis Blues to a 6-5 overtime victory Tuesday over the Vancouver Canucks. Again, just off the top of my head. Vrana scored 28 seconds into overtime for St. Louis. He finished a give and go with Braden Shin to help the Blues rebound for a win after taking a 5-3 lead into the third period. That's about all I remember from it.
You should.
JR, are you being plagiarized right here on the air as we speak?
I think he's got the newspaper in front of him or something here.
Well, yeah, that was ESPN
right?
app. Yeah.
Nice.
Just to refresh my memory, just to jolt it a little bit.
No, Tim, Doug, Plow, Jackson, Mark, probably no Iggy. How you guys doing?
That is a correct assessment of the room, sir. We are wonderful, and we're actually getting serious questions. I don't know what the hell's going on. JR, brought to you by Mark Hanna, Evergreen Wealth Strategies, 314-889-0503. JR, a serious question with Vrana and Kapanen looking like the real deal. Do you see the Blues trying to keep them for the future after next season? Also, Jordan Kyrou played 13 minutes last night. Now that we have others who are able to score, is the coach sending him a message? How about that? Harrison's brother Master out of nowhere.
Real legitimate question.
Questions out of the gate. Yeah, I think that Kapanen and Vrana have looked really good. They've definitely, I think, increased kind of the offense up front. The Blues, 16 goals in the last 3 games. How about that? I think they lead the league going back a few games here. So definitely pumping in some offense. Is it the situation? Is it teams aren't taking them too heavily down the stretch here? What will we see from these players at the start of next season when we start from scratch? I don't know, but it looks good so far, and it looks like a couple good pickups by Doug Armstrong. And both of those guys have 1 year left on their deals next year, and that's it. So will they want to come back because they like what they've established here in St. Louis, or will they want a payday and go elsewhere? We'll see with those guys. But with regard to Kyrou, yeah, definitely, I think so. I think we saw more of the same from him last night. Some turnovers, some indecision in the offensive end, and Craig Berube giving him just the 13 minutes. So he's got some other options right now, and he's using them.
After this season, are the Blues going to have much room in the salary cap to go out and get a substantial player in the offseason?
Not too much. They're pretty dang close to that cap, Doug. And Doug Armstrong, this is going back towards the trade deadline. He actually gave the number. He came out and said we got $4.2 million for one player. So never heard a GM come out and say that. Leaves it up to us to look at the cap room and see what's going on. But, yeah, about $4 million.
That's assuming they don't make a trade somebody's under contract, I guess.
Yeah, that's why I never get caught up in that cap number, because it can change tomorrow based on whatever they do. And I would think that Doug Armstrong is going to try to do something trade-wise in the offseason, so I wouldn't put too much stock in that number.
He's going to do his best Ron Caron impression and trade the whole team.
There is meat on the burner.
Yes.
Nice, I like that. Another question here. Doug, I don't know what's going on with this engineer design facilities text inbox, but JR is getting real questions here. Let me see what I got here. Verona clearly needed a change of scenery. Can he be a 30-goal scorer? And then what was the girth on Roman Polak's drain sniffer? So there, it kind of caught me right there with a breaking ball on the after the first pitch.
Oh, they got you. Yeah, that was a fastball down the middle, 98, and then got you with the curve about 78, 82. Yeah,
froze
so
me.
I think Verona can be that guy. That's the type of player he was. He won a Stanley Cup with Washington. It didn't go well, and there were some off-the-ice issues, maybe going back to Washington, but we know for sure in Detroit that kind of derailed the career. But he seems genuine now when he says that he wants to put that stuff behind him, so we'll see. And I never got a look at Roman Polak's girth, but I did see him wearing a hot dog on his head one time and no shirt, if that counts. So walked in the locker room and
cut that off.
They were passing around the hot dog that you wear on your head to the best player of the game, and walked in the locker room one time, and there's Roman Polak with no shirt on and a dog on his head.
Yum.
I think I still have the picture.
Why would there have been a hot dog on his head?
I don't know. You know, about the third or fourth, kind of thing that they were passing around the room to signify the best player of the game, I got a little burned out on writing about it. So the hot dog, I never got the backstory on that one.
Hey, JR, I was thinking about something. How long have you been with The Athletic?
5 years, 5 plus.
Years. So I've heard you talk about it before, but what's the experience like? Because you were with Post-Dispatch before that?
Yeah.
What's the experience like writing for The Athletic now as you go through winning seasons and losing seasons relative to the traditional journalism, the traditional beat?
Yeah, I love it. And I appreciate you asking. When I went to The Athletic, Mark, I enjoyed the idea of being able to not necessarily take your time and take 3 weeks to write a story, but just have the luxury of, hey, I got a good story here. Let me do my due diligence and make the phone calls and put it together, talk to as many people as I can, and the final product will be the best product that we can put out, which was tough to do for anybody in the newspaper world, and I did it for 18, 20 years, where it's every day, grind. What's the news of the day? What's the news of the day? And so we've been able to put out some stories over the years that I think accomplish what I just said. Just a quick, anecdote with Alex Pietrangelo. When he was here, I sat down with him for a couple hours. He talked about he and his wife having a couple miscarriages, and the message, I think, was powerful. The comment section at The Athletic, I remember the next morning, was, "This is so strong. We've been through miscarriages, and now I'm reading about my favorite hockey player going through the same thing and how he showed the strength, and now how me and my husband can do the same." And so those are the types of stories that we hope to produce. I have one today on Alex Cavallini. She's the Team USA goaltender for USA Hockey, and she lives here in St. Louis. And she just gave birth on December 25th, and here we are 100 days later, and she's training up for the world's women's hockey team, and that'll be competing next week. And so had a chance to sit down with her. So just stories like that we feel like we can take our time on and tell the right way.
Well, when you cover a team like the Blues the way you do you have to still try to be at every game, home and away, or does the Zoom world help you do a lot of that at home?
I think that, no, it's a little less travel. You can kind of pick your spots, Doug. But I think the one thing that I picked up on traveling and covering the Blues for all those years is that people watch the games, and you can tell them a little insight about what happened in the game. Maybe they don't know what a guy was thinking on a particular play, and you can go in the locker room and find out. But it seems to me today, 2023, as opposed to when I started in 2005, that they want to know the why and the how and the backstory on a lot of things, and you can't get that in the locker room because you get 2 or 3 minutes with those guys. So sometimes it's better, hey, let him play in L.A., let him come home. I'll catch the guy at his locker stall at Centene this week for 15 minutes and get a better explanation as to how he's playing or what's going on. So that's
I think you're right about that, man. I think that stuff is kind of an old school mentality, and I get it, and it's. But as you said, if people care, they get a chance to watch the game, and reading a recap is not necessarily what's going to drive people to a story. I think beat writers, in a way, and you were certainly doing this when the Blues were imploding in January, are also, in a way, and I maybe would disagree with this, JR, but columnists as well as covering the team, whereas before I felt like there was a clear line between who was a columnist and who was the beat reporter. What do you think about that?
100%. I used to talk to Bernie Miklasz about this all the time when I was covering the Blues as a beat writer, and he was the columnist, and he was obviously wonderful at his job and did it well. And so I made sure not to step over the line where I was being critical or offering my opinion on a player. And I just stuck to the facts. This guy's got 2 goals in his last 20 games, and here's what the coach had to say about him. And then you had a Bernie Miklasz who would just drop the hammer and say they need to trade the guy. And so definitely those lines were concrete for me back in the day anyway. And now at The Athletic, a little bit of leeway. I insert some opinion and thoughts on what we're seeing. But it's more big picture, and you don't have to be at every game in that situation.
Jeremy Rutherford, I know you have a hard out at 9:30, so we want to let you go. Thank you so much, as always, for the time. A lot of questions came in on Guy Carbonneau, Doug.
Sure.
Jeff Courtnall potentially coming back next year. So we will tend to those questions next week.
Yeah, hey, Tim, Tony Twist, I had an interview with him set up 9:30 this morning, but we pushed back to 1:30. So if you want to sneak in, where's Eric Boganicki at these days? I could probably have an extra minute here to tell you.
Okay, well, all right. Let me read the first one. JR, which Blues player has the worst body odor? Also, is Philippe Bozan walking through that door to add some moxie, or will Army have to look to a Guy Carbonneau type? That's from Mitch with the DailyAztec.com. We're here at McGregor's Cumstein. So there you go. Now that you're able to stick around a little longer.
Yeah, no, I think that the worst body odor definitely has to go to the athletic writer inside the locker room.
Hot.
It's funny.
Humble
they
brag.
might not say anything, those players, they might not say anything to us, to our face, but it's funny. You know that these players are, they got nicknames for some of the reporters and, talking about the clothes that they're wearing or the shoes untied or the body odor, and I'm probably the body odor guy.
No.
That's hot. Well, I would just imagine if you're a professional athlete with millions of dollars and you're in peak physical condition and you don't have to work another day in your life, that you have a great deal of respect when the media comes in and kind of gives you the what for as to how to be a professional athlete. Doug, you've always found that when you would look around the room and our peers, that we are clearly the ones that the players are envious of.
Right, and some of them still have mustard on their face from the hot dog they just ate. They kind of come down and question you on your effort.
Up on the eyebrow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they love that. The players love that. They also like it when some of the media guys wear their championship rings that they got. That goes over really well with them.
We had a guy years ago that wore the big puffy starter Blues jacket up in the press box.
Yeah, it's a bad one.
Oh God, Doug, what did we do? Where was that angel who visited Jimmy Stewart in It's a Wonderful Life when we were 19?
Could have used him.
What the hell happened? Yep.
Could have used him. Got in the financial services business like Hanny here.
Yeah, like Mark Hanna.
Well, yeah.
That angel visited Mark Hanna. Passed on us. Damn it all to hell. JR, thank you so much. Enjoy your time with Twister today.
Yeah, I had to explain to Jackson who Tony Twist was. I said Canadian ice hockey player, liked to fight, so I think he knows who we're talking about.
Oh, God.
Yeah, article coming out Friday at The Athletic on Tony Twist, and this is a fun one, so if you get a chance, take a peek.
Well, all right,
well, looking forward to that. There he is, Jeremy Rutherford, brought to you by Mark Hanna, Evergreen Wealth Strategies, 314-889-0503, or go online at evergreenstl.com. What's the good work, Mark? Because somebody sent in a text, and I don't know if this is somebody you know. For Mark, I think my wife left the Sibian at the Gulf Shores place. Did you grab it? That's from the Webster Walrus.
Of course I did. I've been using it every
Nice.
day.
Oh, come on now.
It's refurbished.
Oh.
Full transparency.
Yep. Transparency in media.
You ever think you'd get roped into this type of talk when you've
I
got
leave
into the
here.
business?
I leave here and go straight to therapy.
Yeah, you forget that it ever happens.
Endlessly. Yeah. Every time.
Mm-hmm.
Every time.
Yeah, it's a defense mechanism, no
It's
doubt.
fine. It washes the memory away, and away I go.
Yeah.
Plus, you give Iggy a little time off, and that's helpful.
I've got to go out there, drag him kicking and screaming back in here. He's a little ray of sunshine on my Wednesdays.
Do you see him? Do you pass him in the hallway on his way out? To
Yeah,
school?
and he looks really forlorn and dismayed that he has to actually come back in and talk into a microphone.
Oh, you
for a
should
little
see the
while.
crest when he realizes he has a full 3 hours. It's unbelievable.
The crest. Call Mark, 314-889-0503. Everyone needs a financial advisor, and Mark Hanna is a first-class person to get involved with when it comes to advising you on your finances. Go to evergreenstl.com. Mark, thank you so much. Kind sir.
Thanks, guys. Good to see everybody.
Good job, Hansy.
There he is, the great Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies, evergreenstl.com, or give him a call, 314-889-0503. Coming up in about 13 minutes, we have the Design Air Heating and Cooling email today, the morning after, at InsideSTL.com. Doug, I deep teased it. Here's Mike Francesa talking. What was this gentleman's name again, Jackson? East Brunswick, somebody?
Fred in East Brunswick.
Oh, sure.
Okay, here it is.
Hit the lever, Plowsy.
Fred in East Brunswick. What's up, Fred?
Hey, what's going on, Mike? How are you today?
What's happening?
If I said Ichiro, are you no doubt first ballot?
In what sport?
Baseball.
In what league? For Major League Baseball?
Major League Baseball.
He does not. He has no. He does not belong in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame.
Really? Huh, that's interesting. Okay.
Well, what would he have done to get there?
Well, I mean, because what? He's got 4,500 hits, something like that. But
Do we count the International League hits for some other guy who played in the International League?
I'm not saying you count that towards the statistic. I'm saying.
Well, people have done that to try and give him awards. I can't get. To me, he hasn't been a Hall of Famer in the major leags.
Okay.
I don't think he's played enough.
Okay.
How many games has he played in American baseball?
Dude.
2,500. What's his batting average in the major leagues for the American baseball?
313.
313.
3,000
hits. 3,000 hits. He's got 3,000 American hits. You know what? Maybe. If he's got 3,000 American hits now, he's going to get in. He's going to get he's going to get in automatically then if he has 3,000 hits. I didn't think he had 3,000 American hits. I mean, he's a singles hitter. So 313 is okay. It's not unbelievable. You want your singles hitters to have better batting average than that. But he plays good defense. If he has 3,000 hits, he's going to get in automatically. No one with 3,000 hits has ever been left out. So he will get in. I didn't realize he had 3,000 hits. I didn't think he had played 2,500 games either. I thought he had played closer to like 1,800 or 2,000. I didn't think he had played 2,500 games.
You're guessing.
Played more than I thought.
You're guessing now.
Dude, like, Ichiro had the best rookie year I've ever witnessed.
How good will Ichiro be a Hall of Famer? And his response is, what sport?
Yeah, what did that even mean? Did he play?
Dougie has 3,000 hits. He also won 10 Gold Gloves.
He did say he
MVP.
played pretty good defense.
And the MVP was his rookie year, if I'm not mistaken.
All-star
too,
virtually
right?
every year.
That's correct.
He's unbelievable.
He had 350 1 year, 372 1 year, and he played every game.
He's a singles
Played
hitter.
157, 157, 159, 161, 162, 161, 161, 162, 162, 161, 162. He played every game.
He's a potential top 50 player of all time in terms of stats. I know everybody loves the long ball, but like overall,
Here's my theory on what happened there, Doug. I like to try to theorize as to how a take can be so surprising from somebody who has had the career that Mike Francesa has. My belief is Ichiro wasn't much of a player for the Yankees, and so he views it through the Yankees lens, except the Yankees thing didn't happen until 2012, and he had been in the big leagues with the Mariners from 2001 through 2012, and he was fine, but it's not like he was the same guy that he was from 2001 through 2010 with the Mariners, and so he was with the Yankees for 12, 13, and 14, and he wasn't great, and so that's what I think that's about. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
One year he had 762 plate appearances.
Oh, my God.
And set the all-time record for hits in a season with 262. 262 hits.
He had a cup of coffee with Miami, too, didn't he?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I barely remember those last few years. He played until he was 45.
Yeah, he played forever.
We didn't see him until he was 27, so, you figure he missed out on 6 or 7 years at least.
Didn't he get
Yeah, that's right. God, yeah, he was 27 when he started with the Mariners in 2001. How about that?
He has over 5,000 hits in professional baseball altogether. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
It is 9:37 in St. Louis. We have the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day coming up here in a matter of moments. And I would like to tell our audience about Big St. Charles Motorsports. That is a new sponsor here on the Ryan Kelly Morning After, and we're thrilled to have new people joining the program and experiencing TMA. Big jobs on big properties demand a big side-by-side, one that's big in power, performance, and comfort. Enter the first-ever Honda Pioneer 1000 Deluxe Crew, available now at Big St. Charles Motorsports. The Pioneer 1000 Deluxe Crew has loads of power thanks to a 999cc engine and a 6-speed automatic dual-clutch transmission. It delivers serious performance, sporting a hefty hauling capacity and a 2,500-pound towing capacity, both made easy thanks to Honda innovations like tow haul mode and self-leveling rear suspension. And when it comes to comfort, the new Pioneer 1000 Crew shines, giving you best-in-class comfort for 6 occupants. Hop in the back seat and you've got shoulder room for 3 and leg room to spare. As for durability and build quality, we'll let the Honda name speak for itself. Head to Big St. Charles Motorsports at I-70 in the Cave Springs exit and see the all-new Pioneer 1000 Deluxe Crew today. It's BigStCharlesMotorsports.com for your safety. Read the owner's manual, wear a helmet and eye protection, always wear your seatbelt, and keep the side nets and doors closed. Honda side-by-sides and for drivers 16 years and older. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the Munganast Daily Fantasy Sports Showdown. Doug, this is your warm-up for major season, which starts a week from tomorrow amongst the dogwoods and pines of Augusta National. But first, it's time for the Valero.
Okay. All right, I'll just pick names out of the hat.
Who's
blindly.
going first?
Probably
Who's
win
first?
again.
Doug's got the box.
Okay. All right. I'll pick a name here. Let me see. I can't see what I'm doing here, but yet I'll pick a name. Brandon Wu. Woo, woo, woo. Brandon Wu.
Kenny Wu.
Brandon Wu.
Starting off decent.
All right, I got it.
What's he priced at?
7,500.
God, I had to reset my password again.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
You're not ready after all this?
I mean, I got it. It took me a while. Thank God I started like 5 minutes ago. I brought it up, and it was...
We'll write them down.
Well, it worked last night.
Okay.
Just
Okay,
this-
who you got?
I got to pull it up now.
Oh, you still don't have it.
I have it. It's loading.
All right, I'll keep
Load.
pulling
Oh, here you
names.
go. Okay.
You got
This is a whole shot in the dark. 7,000. I'm going with Kevin Streelman.
Kevin Streeland?
Streelman.
Okay. That's an inspired pick. Let me see who I got. Okay. I got Tyrrell Hatton.
Oh, Tyrrell Hatton, one of, if not the most expensive player in the field this week,
The
Doug.
most.
Do you worry that he might be tired?
10,000. I could care less if he's tired. It doesn't matter. I'm so tired. 10,900. Wow, that seemed like a pretty good pick.
Yeah, he's one of the top guys.
Yeah. Well, you can pick him too.
No, I didn't. I just kind of stayed around the middle of the pack here.
Okay, who'd you pick?
Coming in at 7,700. This guy pops up every once in a while, Doug, and maybe he'll win this year. I don't know. I'm talking about Bo Hostler.
You're talking Bo Hostler. Okay. All right, give me the box, Plowsy.
In a crappy field, he's as good as anybody else.
Well, sure he is. I got Siwoo Kim.
God, he's like third, I think.
9,700.
Yeah, you may be in trouble here if you pick another big name.
Well, who knows? It's all luck.
All right, now we're getting into the 8,000s. I threw my 7,000s, and then now we'll get to the 8,000s.
Who?
He played good here last year, and he's played well in the European
Who?
Tour. Nikolai Hojgaard.
Javi Bulin?
Hojgaard.
Spell that, please.
Hojgaard.
R-D. Okay. All right. Okay. Corey Connors. Well, there's another 10,000.
You may be in trouble. You may have to start dropping people, buddy.
Well, we'll see.
You'll most certainly have to.
I mixed the box pretty well, too.
He only has $11,800 left for 2 golfers.
Yeah, you
Okay.
gotta drop somebody.
Oh, not possible. Mathematically impossible.
Okay.
You gotta take one of them out.
Well,
I'll mix it up again. I did a good mix job.
You gonna wait till
I
next
thought you
pick?
did a good mixed job.
Oh.
All right, let's stay in the 8,000s. Not a bad price for this field to get him at 8,400. I'm going with Thomas Dietrich.
Thomas Dietrich?
D-E-T-R-Y.
D-E-T-R-Y. Okay. What am I going to pick here? Old Harry Hall.
Yeah, he'll get Phil Fitch, but you're still going to have to drop somebody.
Harry Hall. 7,000.
Yeah, you got to drop one of Connors, Hatton, or Siwoo Kim.
Okay. I'll do that after I pick all the players. We'll see who I drop.
What?
I'm going to pick the full team and see how much he's got, and then I'll determine who I drop.
No, you got to do it player by player.
No, I don't. I'm going to get all the players and then see who I drop.
Whoever you pick next is going to be over.
Doug, fade Hatton.
Well, then I'll figure out who I'm going to drop.
Yeah,
How far over I am.
Doug's saying is fair.
All right, so now you got Harry Hall in there, too. Yeah, I'm sure you're keeping him.
We have to. You have to keep that guy.
Well, you can drop
Who'd you pick?
He
give us
played
a
well
name.
last week. Probably should have won his pod. He got screwed. I'm going to go with Ryan Fox.
Ryan Fox.
What happened to Ryan Fox's pod, Doug?
He got screwed.
He got screwed out of a couple of putts. And
How can you get screwed out of a putt?
They make you putt it. That's how you get screwed out of a putt.
Well, you missed.
Welcome to the Fan Page Golf Championship.
I got Aaron Ray, 7,900. Right?
Right, okay, so you'll have to drop.
Doug, he uses iron covers. Is that a problem for you?
Yes, it is. How far over am I, Jackson?
3,100.
3,100 over.
So you'll have to drop Hatton, Connors, or Kim.
Okay.
you want to draw a 7th player, then figure out what you want to do?
I'll drop Kim, I guess.
Okay. So you have 6,600 left.
Are there some players in there, Plow?
Yeah, there is some 6,500.
I'll keep drawing until I get a 6,500.
This isn't going to take forever. We can flip them over.
Just put some near the top there, 6,000.
Well, he does every week.
I
He's
got
up to
one.
9,000.
Martin Laird, 6,800.
Yep. No, 68?
Yeah.
Sorry, too much.
Son of a sack ass. Okay, don't tell me who to drop. Young Han, he's too much, 7,400. Taylor Montgomery, $9,900. Let's take a couple here until I find one that's cheap. How about Adam Long, 69? How about Michael Kim, 6,500?
There you go.
Okay.
There we go! Woot, 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 woot.
That was hard.
Iggs, who's your last player?
My last player is Taylor Montgomery.
Okay.
Okay.
The rosters are submitted.
Okay.
Got to feel good about it.
Well,
Feel
it's
great.
exhausting is what it is. Let me take a picture of
Yeah, we'll see.
it. Well, you sure will. We shall see.
Well, we'll see us feel better if we go to Mentality, and that means going to lowtusa.com. That's exactly right. Mentality is online at lowtusa.com. It is a local healthcare facility. I have visited said local healthcare facility. I was tested. Doug, no surprise, my testosterone is strong.
Off the charts,
I think
I'm sure.
people, yeah, but my vitamin D, not so much, and that's what they test for at Mentality. If you're dealing with low energy, motivation, weight gain, muscle loss, fatigue, tired all the time, feeling anxious, moody, irritable, impatient, dealing with anxiety or depression, these are symptoms of low testosterone. Mentality sets you up to get tested, and you got to understand that the normal range for testosterone is large. So if you've been to a doctor and they told you that you're normal without understanding the range or testing your free testosterone, it was not fully looked at. Come get checked with Mentality. Testosterone therapy helps men regain normal function and restore their ability to perform normally at all levels. It's lowtusa.com. That is Mentality at lowtusa.com. We have the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day coming up. Keep in mind, all week long, 2 reserved VIP seats to see the movie Air Advanced screening on Tuesday, April 4th at 7 p.m. at AMC Esquire 7. Those being given away today, tomorrow, and Friday. The screening next Tuesday. It's the film Air. Jackson, have you been given a copy of it considering your ownership of goodorbad.com?
I have not. I should be getting screeners. It's kind of,
I agree with
if
that.
they know it's good for them. But I can't wait to see it. Anytime Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are together, count me in.
Doug, you get one? You're a SAG member.
Oh, yeah.
Well, don't they do that for the Oscars, send those? Not necessarily just for movies that come out?
They send them to me for the SAG After Awards.
And that's in, like, what? January? December?
February, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it, though. The story of this magnitude, good actors, Ben Affleck directing.
Yeah.
Who's playing the role of Jordan?
I don't know. I know Viola Davis is playing his mother, which Michael Jordan asked for expressly. He said,
Oh, is that right?
He said, you can do the movie, but Viola Davis has to play my mother. And Ben Affleck and Matt Damon were like, well, the mother only has one line in the script right now. I don't know if Viola will do that, so they changed it and made her a much more important character.
Oh.
Huh.
They did a really good Ben and Matt did a great interview with Bill Simmons. I highly recommend listening to that.
Nice. Julia Ann is on the Holly Randall podcast. I highly recommend that. That's new today, Doug. Julia Ann, friend of the show. Iggy, one of the all-timers, right?
I think so. Top 10, probably.
Who's
for
in your
most
top
people. That wouldn't be my top 10, but for most people.
You're dying to give your top 10 now, aren't you?
No.
I want to hear it.
I couldn't come off the top of my head, my top 10. I have to think about it.
How about top 3?
Top 3 would be Kay Parker.
Dave Parker?
Kay Parker.
Yeah, the Cobra.
Christy Canyon. Dillian Harper.
Oh, no, Linda Mulder.
She's got the sciatica.
Yeah, she was good in Pirates, and she started tatting herself up.
I like that, though. She would be in my top 10. Chasey Lane, pre the situation.
Yeah.
Just really alone for that oil scene.
Oh.
Abigail Mack. Ella Reese's Instagram alone, to me, puts her in the top 10, although she performs sporadically. Doesn't seem like she's really interested in playing a lot of events. She might be better to be on the live tour of the stag industry. Doug, I mean, I feel like by default you have to put Nud Jameson in there. Don't you have to put Nud Jameson in there?
How about Lisa Ann, since you know her?
That's a great play. Yeah, I think Lisa Ann would go on there whether we know her or not.
If you know her.
Yeah, but I don't watch any of her movies
anymore. Got to be 2 of the top
so.
3.
Yeah, I can't watch her movies.
Yeah, I can't either.
Yeah, I can still.
No, I mean, I'd still put her in my top 10. I'd put her in my top 10 because she's that popular.
What up, Lisa? I'm very progressive. I can be your friend and watch you. I'm black.
Yeah, that's a great person, too.
Clip that off.
She's a sport.
Well, we'll finish off the top 10 on Balloon Party. Derek Gould also going to join us coming up at 10:30. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. Hey, gals. He is once again pays for dramatic effect right once again. Did you like how I did that, Doug? So here we go. I've been selling what I call slightly used but incredibly filthy D-list celebrity items and apparel. Now, while I don't have any current inventory like a used cigarette from an East St. Louis punk rock show or a 3-year-old divot from Vijay Singh from the 2002 Shell Houston Open, I'd like to take time on your airwaves to push my products, a sort of swap meet, if you will. A failed audition tape of Ernest Borgnine reading the role of Frankenfurter in the 1975 hit Rocky Horror Picture Show. Some backwaxing strips with hair from former 1988 Democratic presidential candidate Michael Dukakis. An unopened 12-pound bag of bird seed from the back porch of former Texas and Titans quarterback Vince Young. And lastly, one incredibly crusty wool sock from the bottom of the hamper from Doug Vaughn's house. Choose my email to win if you're interested in any of these items. That comes from the Sexy Robot.
Oh, Sexy Robot.
Trying to figure some things out. Reading between the lines. The old guy told the story about how he masturbated in a hot bath for an entire week, thinking about the guy with the perfect teeth because he had spent all day playing golf with him. And then his scrawny grandson was talking about how he refuses to tape any more shows, one in which he has been doing for free because now there might be possible sponsors. Speaking of business models, what do Bernie Madoff and half the men in Potosi, Missouri have in common? They've all been fingered by their sons.
Oh.
That's from
Come on.
another lady writing in. That's from Amanda, and then her last name is Ream.
That's no lady. Amanda Rion.
Are we sure Darren's new breakfast sandwich wasn't made entirely of weed?
Come on, 40 seconds.
Because he seemed extra high this morning. Some texters say that Plowsy is a one-button guy and that he only has one job, but that's simply not true. He has lots of duties and responsibilities that many people overlook. The breakfast sandwich boy has the difficult task of tuning out the world around him so he can mindlessly scroll Twitter. He makes sure a constant loop of the Sinbad interview is played on TMA all day. He adds nat sound to the broadcast by aggressively crinkling food wrappers near the mic with the ferocity of a frustrated toddler struggling to open a stubborn pack of fruit snacks. Additionally, the pride of Canton has to remember to not play any drops whatsoever. And who else could handle the job of continuing to play commercials for a defunct podcast that hasn't been on the air in months because it, quote, adds an extra 36 seconds to our commercial break? This is a man with a college degree, and he puts his education to use every day. For instance, I assume the first class he took at Western Illinois University was a class called Pissing Off Loyal Listeners 101, forgetting the aux and other intern-level mistakes. Here's an idea. Quit talking about the granulated quartz and the bunkers at Augusta and give us what we really want by showing more of the guy cutting Tim's grass in Florida. Boy, that fellow was booking it. He was moving faster than me running to the restroom after too many cheesy bean burritos from Taco Bell. Real talk. Put the lawnmower guy in the Indy 500 and let him show the world how fast that John Deere can run. But back to my original point. The next time these low-life texters want to come after Plowboy because he can't remember the basic task of making sure TMA is actually on the air, maybe they should just keep their opinions to themselves and to their homeboys. We love you, Plowsy. Stay cute, sweet cheeks. Fall, please. The JV golf coach is now gaping.
JV golf coach.
All accurate, and I'll put that on my
now
resume.
Gaping. Four, please. Can we hear that one time, Iggy, that Masters guy?
Four, please. Doug Vaughn now driving.
Okay, I like
Man,
that.
that's Johnny Johnson.
Wonderful. Gets you in the spirit for
Yeah,
the
I like
the
that.
Masters. Which chip is best, he asked with a sly smirk. I had never seen the gentleman before, but something told me to play along with this stranger under the romantic light of the Straub's chip aisle. What are you dipping it in? I asked with a pensive smile. He didn't skip a beat. You, he said strongly. I want to taste the emulsified corn loaf that sits in your tummy tunnel. I blushed. I think the Fritos Big Scoop would be best. That way you can taste more of me with each bite. I keep the Soppins extra flavorful. He airdropped me his number, and we have a date at a roadside more in Fenton. The one with free HBO and vibrating beds. More to come. That's from Danny Tanner.
Sure. Danny Tanner.
And finally, salutations from across the nation. Today I'm excited to share with you a conversation I conducted with Frank Frangie. He attended the BSM Summit last week, and he shared Barrett's bullet points for how radio shows can best position themselves to make his top 20 rankings for 2023. Number one, antagonize your listeners by opening the show with your traditional pre-recorded intro, followed by 90 seconds of dead air. An angry listener is an engaged listener. Number two, keep your audience engaged by having a listener call in to detail his most recent masturbation session before reeling off a series of vacation humble brags and celebrity name drops. Number three, promote a defunct podcast that hasn't dropped a new sode in months with daily promos that run during commercial breaks. Spend significant showtime openly campaigning for this defunct podcast to win a local Reader's Choice Award for Best Radio Show, despite the fact that it's never aired on the radio, not even HD2. Number four, play old clips of now retired radio icon and other markets saying the most idiotic things and then backpedaling as he pulls his head out his ass in real time while saying more idiotic things like, is that a new report? Are there players who kick with both legs? At number 5, you want to talk about golf? It's okay to have your stoner board off who's not for sure because he doesn't really pay too close attention give a series of scorching hot takes about the LIV Tour, but remember to keep Kevin Na's name out your damn mouth. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Buck Swope.
Sure it is.
And that's what we have
Buck
for the Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email today. What you got?
I thought Buck Swope had a nice little email, but I'm going to go with JV golf coach, now gaping.
Buck Swope brings up a good point that we technically have never done the show on the radio, and we're up for a radio show.
Yeah, that's a good observation.
Yeah, I kind of liked, only because of the references. I mean, a former quarterback's bird seed on his. I mean, to come up with those things, I thought was ingenious. So I'm going to go with whatever that first.
Sexy robot.
Sexy robot.
No, the sexy robot. It doesn't matter, though, because the JV golf coach is now gaping, has just shipped the Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email of the day. Is that the second win of the month for the JV golf coach?
Accurate.
But was he gaping in the first one?
I don't know if he was gaping.
Yeah, that would matter.
He now is.
Jackson and I are going to go down the hallway and experience pleasure like you've never experienced before, ladies and gentlemen. It's called the Balloon Party, and it's driven by Munganess St. Louis Acura and Alton Toyota. Derek Gould is going to join us for a deep dive on the upcoming Cardinal season. I am off tomorrow. Jackson, you running point tomorrow, bro?
Yeah.
How about that?
No.
We'll be back in studio Friday?
Back in studio Friday, and we're going to have a long embrace right in front of Doug, Iggy, and he is going to be very, very aroused.
And you'll feel like you're still in Florida. I think Friday's supposed to be like 72, I think.
And then the storms come. Big, heavy storms in the afternoon and night. It's supposed to get really nasty.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's supposed to get really nasty Friday.
That
Well, it's a good thing the Cardinals are off Friday.
Yeah. Timing was right.
All right, Balloon Party coming up next on 101 ESPN. Time for us to shut it down. For the Plowhawk, for Action Jackson, for Kenneth Iggy Strode, for my brother Kevin, for Douglas Sullivan Vaughn, I'm Tim McKernan. This has been the Ryan Kelly Morning After from the Michelob Ultra Studios.
$150 gift card to Brush Creek Valley Farm.